Get me to do this. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's wrong. Hello. Hi, how you doing, Queen Design? What's up? I'm coming. This is going to be a brief live, but I got excited tonight. I went to bed. I fell asleep early. I didn't say I went to bed, but I fell asleep early. And I woke up about 30 minutes ago with some clarity. So I'm getting on here to share my clarity. And I'm telling you, I know I be stumbling over my words. And I'm eating cookies. But I made that live stream in which I was asking, or stating that I couldn't see my flaws. And I thought I got the answer, which I guess I did. I guess I'm getting the answers in layers. Yep, you finally caught me live. Please share. Yes, please do. That might help an old girl out. And so, since I asked that question, I've had multiple answers come in. But I think I got the core answer today. The when I say core, I'm talking about like where it comes from. So during this live stream, I'm going to be taught. Let me try to talk clearer. During this, I went to the dentist. Our teeth look quite different, and they filed them down. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. But the oh there, I do it like that. Bye, break. Where's over here? Bye, breakthrough. Let me slow down. For this live stream, let me stop. Let me do my introduction first. Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More. My name is Nancy. And if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, just contact me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. Actually, please like, share if you haven't already subscribed. If you're ever interested in submitting a love offering to me, just go to my home page. In the upper right corner is my Cash App link. You can find out any and all information associated with what I just spoke of below each and every video and or live stream I made. Hopefully that makes sense. So, excuse me, I'm hot. So what's going on in your world, Queen Design? Anything exciting? Are you experiencing, this Saturn turning direct energy? Do you know if you're experiencing it? Are you experiencing what is it, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn energy? Do you know? Do you know if you're experiencing like the Uranus and Taurus energy? And, we talked about the various different aspects, so you will be aware of what areas of life you might be seeing some changes in. Some changes taking place. Ooh, Lord, I'm hot. Don't seem like I should be hot, but I just woke up, so I'm all excited. Let me talk about why I'm going live. This is like an urgent message for me. Y'all know I use YouTube as a way to record all my findings, so this is no different. I got in touch. Well, I didn't get in touch. A spirit that I dealt with when I was younger, I was reminded of. Right before I woke up, I had forgot all about this spirit. And this spirit is the reason that people don't like me. Uh, or, or people have found me offensive. And I guess it kind of still exists. But I'm thinking I have had control over it. This is the spirit that why me and my kids are at odds. I'm talking about all of this has come through, I would say, just in the last hour when I was waking up and that spirit came back to me. Let's see what Queen talking about. It says, not sure yet. I haven't finished watching your latest live vids. I get it, but is it anything, just, moving in your life? Is moving in, excuse me, I'm eating a vanilla wafer. Moving in your life. You can feel the energy flow in your life. See, that's how people know, or a person knows, when these astrological energies are playing out in their life, because there's a lot of energy flow around particular areas of one's life. Usually, we seem to kind of, what can I say, move on autopilot, follow a regimen. But at other times, it be these swirls almost. All of a sudden, I got in my mind's eye things with my family mostly. It's around. You can feel the energy is always moving and shifting, and you be like, you can't catch a break. You be like, what's going on? I thought we was over that, or I thought we was done, or and it just keep on going, and like it has a life of its own. That's the area of life that the astrological energies are, compelling you to grow in. It's re-educating you. Yeah. And so I become aware. That's one of the parts of the lesson. When I say lesson, I'm talking about life lesson. We got multiple things going on, We got life lessons and we got spiritual lessons going on simultaneously. Many life lessons affect us on a real deep level that ultimately, tweak or affect our soul. And so when it's a lot of energy focusing on a particular area of your life, namely family, that's where the lessons lie, and they are active. You know that when you had times when you just go and come to work, it's like doing the normal. You can go hang out with your girlfriends or your homies. It's just the normal. You can go visit people. They come visit you. It's just the normal. It's like it's not backed by a lot of energy or a full heavy vibration. Or no matter what you do, you can't stop it, or you can't, kind of bend it to your will. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. And so that's one of the signs that, of what area is being focused on in your life. Anyway, so let me tell you about this spirit. Again, I just woke up not too long ago. And so, I don't have no notes or outline or anything. I'm just sharing and recording what I'm finding out. Week before last, I think it was, I asked God, what's my shortcoming? I can't see my flaws. I talked about how everybody has been getting on my nerves, and I was talking about how judgmental I am. I also, the last live stream I made was about karma and Saturn turning direct, and I shared in that live stream about two, I'll say, maybe I use the word homies of mine that are both facing life. And so when I look around at the people I've known in the course of my life, I kind of feel like I'm better than they are. From the sense of, like, most all of them, well, probably all of them, got more money than myself. And that was something that I never, ever, ever understood. And I still have a problem with it. But I'm gaining a little more understanding relative to it. my question was like, okay, God, I'm gonna talk to y'all like I would talk to God. Okay, Lord, you gotta help me understand how I was the only one. I'm talking about coming up as a child, a youth, all the way up into adulthood. Everybody I interacted with, I was like, how was I the only one? I can't even think of nobody else. I'm think they might have went later on, much later on. But I was like, how was I the only one that went straight out of high school, went to college, had kids, dropped out of college. A couple of years later, went back to college with my kids. I'm the only one that moved through, had a degree. I'm the only one, I'll say, this is my judgmental mind during my experience. I'm the only one that, how can I say this? Move forward in integrity and righteousness. But I'm the one in the end that end up with nothing. Oh, so I had an issue about it. I done been through these times that I felt so bad. It's like that experience a person has when they're on Facebook and they look at a picture of somebody doing better than them, and they, that it kind of hurt your ego. I've been going through that long before Facebook, because everybody I ever encountered in my life always did better than me. And at first I wasn't noticing, but then a point in time came in my life that my life got to be such a struggle. I couldn't rectify that difference about how can I be in integrity, be in righteousness, but others weren't, and they getting it in. I would be right. It was times I would walk down the street when my kids was little, getting on the bus, and they riding past me in Hummers, and they buying houses, and they traveling, and they got the name brand clothes. They turn up, and they still turn up. They older and more mature now, but I'm the only one walking and riding and taking care of my kids by myself after a certain period of time. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. That's one of the reasons why and this is a TMI, that's one of the reasons me and my children's father didn't make it. It was because, how can I say this? I'm not a hustler. I didn't want to hustle. And it was like, everybody else, again, they living that life. They popping their collars, bottles, traveling, buying houses. I was like, no, I was into the church too. No, God gonna take care of me. I gotta keep moving forward in righteousness and this and that. Now that happened, as my life progressed, got a little older. I'll say that phase of my life might have been about 15, 20 years ago. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be taken care of. I used to look over my whole life. And so I'm TMIing, and I'm TMIing and giving y'all private information about myself, because I got to draw a picture of my life so that you can understand the spirit that I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to introduce you to a spirit. I didn't talk to y'all. I don't know if y'all think I be joking or not, but I don't be joking. I done told y'all about the spirit of beauty. I done told you about the spirit of different cohabitating spirits. The spirit of I done met the spirit of Satan. I done met the spirit of beauty. And many of these, like when I talked about the spirit of beauty, I think my first video here on YouTube was through a dream. But I gotta say, I meet these spirits in real time while I'm up. So I done walked with these spirits. How people say they see spirits on others and different things. See, I have walked with these spirits, sometimes for periods in my life. So I'm looked at as the crazy one, because I'm the kind I could be staring at a spirit and just be like, yeah, okay, yeah. So some people might look at me and say, she fake or phony. Oh yeah, I done learned how to wear a face and a mask because I done seen too much. It's a hi from Southern Indiana. How you doing? I'm pretty good. How about you, Debbie? So tonight, I'm introducing y'all to another spirit that I met. And one day I'm going to sit down and get my thoughts clear. And I'm going to try to sit down and write out a list of all the spirits and demons and things like that I've met in the course of my life. And I actually talked to, and they were with me. Like you have a family member, it was there. Or whatever, it was different time periods. Or a significant other, it was there, So this is a spirit I had that accompanied me from a child, From the moment, you know, when you're young, you ain't conscious of nothing. And then all of a sudden you become conscious. At a certain age, you start getting increasingly a little more conscious about stuff. So this is the spirit that accompanied me then. And I took control of, I shut it down, that spirit. It walked with me well into about age, I'm going to say about 24. It walked with me about that long. From as small as I can remember becoming conscious. See, when you ain't conscious, you ain't aware. So I have to kind of think back upon experiences. But for as long as I remember, up to about the age of 23 or 24, it walked with me until I had to shut it down. And so I'm going to tell you about this spirit. And I forgot all about it. But it made sense why people don't like me, have never liked me, wanted to hurt me. And I'll make it make sense. I'll make it make sense. So I was saying a story that, I wasn't, one of the reasons I wasn't liked in my circle is because I was in a church. And I wasn't a holy roller, oh Lord, in the church. I just went to church for the fellowship. I visited many religions. I eventually set up on a religious institution in my community that serviced like my kind of people, my culture. None of it was ever fulfilling, but I went. I told y'all came this period in time that I said, if I hear one more, I don't know if it was resurrection story now, if I hear one more motherfucking resurrection story, I'm going to stand up in this motherfucker and scream. And sure enough, they did it again. And so I was about to start cussing, and that was the last time I was in the church. I'm going. I'm good. About time I was actually singing today. You were singing today? You was in a good mood? That's nice. And so I came out to church. And I went to church in order. It's the same mission I'm on now, even with tarot and astrology. Same mission in church. That's what I say. It's been my whole life. It never stopped. It never stopped. It never could stop. And I'm about to tell you about this spirit. So, I forgot I was telling you something about my life. I'll figure out what I was about to share about my life and why. So, now I can't say I know the name of this spirit. I don't know the name of this spirit. I don't even know what to call it. I really don't even know what to call it. Maybe because I was so young. But I do know it walked with me. And so I'm going to tell you how I was able to identify it. Now, I became aware of this spirit. How can I say? When I was young, like a kid young, you know how people have, young people have, what they call it, little shadow friends or imaginary friends. This spirit was my imaginary friend. So, if I talked about it, nobody thought I was weird, because it was just an imaginary friend to them. It was a spirit. And so, for as long as I can remember, the spirit walked with me. And maybe I can just kind of see, I can only tell you about the spirit by describing its relationship to me. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me see. See, when I was younger, I talked about the spirit when I was younger. When I was younger, this spirit, or we can say imaginary friend, gave me, or helped me, helped me refine my creative abilities. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Y'all see my face. I don't know if y'all seen it or not. Right now, I'm trying to describe the spirit, my imaginary friend when I was a child. I'm going to say maybe about 6, maybe 5. maybe even younger. Um, this spirit helped me develop my creative spirit. Soon as I said that, my mind went to astrology. Creative spirit? That's Leo. That's the fifth house of Leo. Hmm. So I looked down at the few little notes I wrote here when I got up. I was like, man, I forgot about that spirit. And I wrote them down. So when I just had that, what they call it, revelation or epiphany, I looked down and the words I got here are related to Leo. Now, Leo is my ascent. I have an ascent in Leo. Wow. When I say this is a breakthrough, I don't know where it's going to lead me, y'all, but it's a breakthrough, and I'm happy I remember. So when I was a kid, how did this spirit help me develop my creative spirit, abilities, skills? Let me tell y'all a little story, very short story. This is when I was in Do Re Mi Academy. This was like the very first, I could say maybe daycares or latchkey. So I might have only been about a 4 or 5. And I remember sitting in the middle of the floor. Now, mind you, this was what do you call it? A daycare center. So there were multiple children. There's not a few what in the home. This was real. See, when I was born, it wasn't no daycares and latchkeys. So this was kind of, I forgot what they call them, nursery schools or something. One of the first nursery schools ever. And in this nursery school, I'm going to say maybe it might have been possibly, I'm going to say about 40 kids in this little daycare. But this is how conscious I was at that time. So I can still remember some of the kids. But I remember this one time, I'm sitting in the middle of the floor. Her name was Miss Bell. The teacher name was Miss Bell. And so she would give us a choice at certain times about what we wanted to do. And so me and the spirit, like, what we gonna do? It says, go get the blocks so I can show you. Okay. So I would go get the blocks. I mean, when I say this can get deep, see, to y'all, it might not be important to y'all, but it's important to me because it's revealing the mysteries associated with my life. And it makes things make so much more sense. And so there were 2 different types of blocks. One was just like the brown wooden blocks, and the other set had the painted color, the painted letters on the side. I always wanted the painted letters. But this particular time, another child beat me to those painted letters. To tell you the truth, I probably was a child that always went to them painted letters. I wanted them painted letters. Because me and this spirit had some work to do. But nobody knew that. And I'm a kid. So, it's important. You are reminding me of something in my past. Well, hold on to it and look at it. Because I'm going to look at this all the way through. I'm not being funny. If it ain't even nobody on this live stream watching, I'm going to just keep talking. I'm happy y'all to hear this. I can talk to y'all and I don't have to talk to myself. I'm happy to share. But I got to get this out because y'all got to understand. I got to just how powerful this being was. What is this live stream, if you continue to watch, going to reveal to you or show you? It's going to show you the interaction between a physical person and a spiritual being that's disembodied or doesn't have a body. It will be showing the communication process between a person, me, and a physical, and a spirit that doesn't have a body, and how it communicates and how it works in my life. Like I said, I was so young. I want to say the energy was a female, but I can't. I'm trying to go back as I'm talking. See if I can be quiet. If I was to be quiet and just sit quietly and meditate and go back over the experiences, I would be able to confirm for sure or not, but I do think it was female. I don't ever remember feeling the masculine energy from this being. I believe it was like another little girl, and we grew up together. Just so you can look at it as my imaginary friend, but this was a spirit that, again, walked with me. And I cannot tell you what nationality this spirit um, is, because it still exists. But I use past. If I ever use past tense was, is because I shut that energy down at about 23 or 24 years old in my life, and it was for a reason. So let me go back to when I was a child. So I'm in this daycare, and I'm gonna be fair and say that I was a spoiled brat. And so I probably always went to those blocks with the colors. And there probably were other little children that wanted those blocks with them colors. But Nancy's thinking, but always getting them. So this particular day, another child gets the one up on me and goes to get those blocks with the colors. And so I'm acting a fool because me and my imaginary friend got work to do. She's teaching me something. She's teaching me how to cultivate my creative abilities. Anyway, the teacher, Miss Bell, or the daycare provider, Miss Bell, breaks up the fight. And she's like, Nancy, you just take these. Miss Bell forced me to take them dang blocks without the color. I was mad. But I took the blocks and I stomped away and I slammed them in the middle of the floor and I sat down and me and my imaginary friend went to work. I sat in the middle of the floor for hours. I've always been the kind of person that could stay and focus for hours. Why? Because I was never ever alone. That's another thing that I realized today. I was never alone. I'm gonna jump. So I want to talk about the other children in the daycare. There were no other children around me as I did this. It was just me and my imaginary friend working, building this tower up. We built this tower up, and it was like Jenga, baby. And I was only about 4. And so the other kids were on the other side of the daycare with the kitchen set or whatever they was doing. Like I said, I've always been disliked. Always been hated, even on that level. And so I don't know who this child, I can't remember this child's name, but I know that the child came over and stood to the right of me and it kicked all my blocks down. Oh, bitch, why you do that? And this is how my man was at that age, before you go to school, portable school. So I bust out crying and I jumped up and jumped on her head. I remember this. It was always something. I remember this guy named Rodney always tried to kiss me and put boogers on me. When I was that little, my hair was real long. I messed it up permanent. My hair was real long. My mom always twisted. It was real long down my back. It's always on me pulling on my hair and stuff. And so this spirit used to like only be my only friend. And so I could go off in the corner whenever. And it just say, come on over here, Nancy. And again, it was always training me. It was always like I was the kid that could draw inside the lines. And I would focus so. I could build like the highest, block tower and, a little more advanced for my age at any given time. But I was never liked on a social level. That's what I'm trying to get, even at that small age. Before I officially enter school. And so what my teacher, Miss Bell, would have to do, because I was so threatened by other little nursery schoolers, I was probably right. And I ain't going to lie. I thought I was special. Miss Bell had to keep me because I was a liability. This is how bad it was. I was a liability. Miss Bell had to keep me right here at her right leg. Everywhere at story time where she went. She had to separate me at nap time. Because they were always, these kids always came and tried to just like pile on top of me like a football player, pulling my hair. They wanted my hair. It wasn't just the blocks. And so, now that I'm older, I realized I was a liability because I was being attacked so. So, of course, I make it through that and through, the other grades. And the same thing continues, y'all, my whole life. But why was that happening? This spirit, let me talk to you about this spirit. Now, just remember, that little scenario I gave you about my childhood, about childhood, has taken me all the way up through my life. And I never could understand it until today. So, this spirit, I believe, 95% I believe it is female. I have no recollection of any masculine energy. or communications. This spirit, I can't tell you if like the spirit, possibly if it's like a disembodied spirit, nationality was like black. It almost seemed like that she might have been a little white girl. We probably were around the same age, and she just disembodied and I'm in the body. And so she would work with me. Again, her primary focus in my life was to help me refine and develop my what? My creative skills. My creative skills have always been off the chain. I have made multiple videos here on YouTube where I talk about, I talk about like the condition of my hands. How can I say this? I have made multiple videos where I talk about the second house of Taurus and how it doesn't voluntarily grant me its gifts, like money and jewelry and fine clothes and cars and shoes. I'm not a person that have. I'm a person that have not. But what was allowed me, hi, Dr. Princess, was the ability to use my hands and my mind to bring some of those things into existence through the creative process. And so that spirit was with me when I was from a wee age. It helped me develop that skill and that ability. And therefore, during the course of my life, I was able to create beauty and avenues of money and, how can I say it, in different arts. And I mean, I had a very rich life, even though, so let me try to clarify. Hi, James, how you doing? Can you ask spirits about my twin flame if you have time? If I tap into it, James, I will. If I get any messages, maybe if you stick around as I talk about this spirit that's always been with me, maybe you'll gain some clarity. Because Queen said she's been, activated and started remembering something. When I was younger, I was, for some reason, obsessed with projectors that they have at school. Really? So much that I made one. You made what? Still to this day, I don't know how I made one, but I did. Think of it close. Think of it close, Queen. Queen Design. So, okay, you've been initiated. We're going to move forward with my story, maybe to help you draw more understanding surrounding the projector beam. So, how was that? The spirit, I would like to give you a description, is what I'm saying, of the spirit. Some spirits I can describe how they look. It's not so much that I've seen them with my physical eyes, but many of y'all have heard about the spiritual eyes or the third eye. And you can see with the third eye. So right now I'm going to try to explain how one can see with the third eye. This spirit, see, I don't want to jump from being a little girl all the way up to adult. Because this is a 24 years, at least about 24 years of my life. Even when I finally went up to like the next school was the elementary, one of the teachers, it was always a teacher at any level or teachers going to my mom saying, we think your daughter might be gifted and we would like her to do X, Y, and Z. Hey, we think your daughter might be gifted, so we want her to be a part of X, Y, and Z. So this also occurred like on elementary level, and this was about music. And so I was, they got me into music, and I started playing the violin, and they really wanted to take me. I was little. I mean, how old are you in elementary? They wanted me to be a violinist. It got very, very expensive. So I did that a few years. And they even had professionals come look at me. But it got to be very, very expensive. And I told my mom, I don't like it. I like the violin, but that wasn't my interest. How was I able to play the violin well? It was due to this same spirit. So you know how they be like, okay, you got to practice. What kid want to practice when I got a Barbie truck over here? I want to go play with my Barbie truck. Because even when I play, I could do whatever I wanted to do. The spirit was there to help me refine my creative abilities. So if I was playing a violin, I would say that that imaginary friend, helped me understand how to play the violin. You know what I'm saying? Possibly there were certain limits for me. I'm thinking that she didn't have. Because she would say, in the physical, a teacher would say, Nancy, put your finger here, put your finger there, where she would refine that. And if I didn't want to do that, and my interest was playing with my Barbie mobile home, then she went there with me to the Barbie mobile home. And we would sit there and we would we would strip all the Barbie clothes off. Make a whole Barbie wardrobe. How you make a wardrobe for the? My mom be like, well, okay. I always a kid. Well, number one, I was a loner, and I always entertained myself. And my mom didn't know. Nobody knew. My dad, nobody. That I did used to tell my mom about it, but she thought she was an imaginary friend. I was dealing with a real spirit. And when I'm a kid, as a kid, I knew she was real to me. Did I know that she was a spirit when I was a kid? Not fully at all. But by the time I was 23 or 24, I knew she was a spirit. And it's so much. It's so many levels. And so I just shared the thing between the violin and the Barbie truck to just say whatever I was into, she was okay with, and she would help me refine my abilities and skills. And so imagine that has continued throughout my whole life of, my first 24 years. I got a spirit sitting hand in hand with me, helping me learn how to focus. Like some kids have ADD and they say, no. She sit here and we talk like the best friends, and we zoomed out and we focused on whatever, the project was. And we would be just so creative and challenging each other until boom, mastery. You know what I'm saying? So I tell y'all, I'm ghetto fabulous. I always was viewed as ghetto fabulous. So let me see if I can try to clear this up. So other people, that little girl back in nursery that came and kicked my blocks off. All them kids that used to pile up on my hair and pull on my hair and fight me. Them kids. And every other being that came into existence, always ever proceeded in my life, that stood in for them, just at different age brackets. Always fighting. Always the center of attention, never trying to get attention. I never tried. Like I said, I was zoned out. And see, this is why I was always innocent, y'all. This is why I couldn't see my flaws. This is my question is being answered. What are my flaws, God? Please tell me. Because these people getting on my nerves I never understood. And I still don't. But now I do. So I never was a gossiper. I never was a showboat, but I'm talking from my perspective. I never was a gossiper, never was a showboat. Any of those things, never did. So to me, I was righteous. I was moving forth in integrity. Just made sense today. And so I'm like, okay, well, don't jump. So going back, and I got to talk about all of my peers down through the years. I've shared here on YouTube that people have attempted to assassinate me. This is how much they hate me. Assassinate me in the course of my life. Y'all, I don't be bull crapping or lying to y'all. I'm for real. This category is under entertainment, but this is my life. So I don't want to speak poorly of some folk, but I tell you about the sibling rivalry that had gotten to a very dangerous level. My siblings were very angry with me. I just shared this recently, and I've shared it since I started my YouTube. My siblings were very angry with me because by the time I was born, my mom was established. So I was the one that, got to travel. I got the clothes. I got, so I was maybe a little, received a little more than they did because my mom was still in college when she had my siblings. So they really, really hated me. and used to always try to threaten me and hurt me. And my mom was like, hey, you got to stay away from them, because it was insane. It was really insane. They was like, you always got this or you always got that. And I didn't understand them not liking me. They felt like I wasn't worthy of the blessings that I received. And the thing was, I felt like I didn't understand their anger toward me, but I also knew that I was eligible for all blessings. I say, because every time I got a blessing, I did the right thing with it, but I also did the wrong thing with it. And the wrong thing I did with it, this is back at age 24, I was sharing with too many people and giving it to people, and none of these people liked me. Was I giving it to them to try to buy them? These were the things I couldn't see clearly. I never could see clearly. I don't buy friendship. I really don't care. But I do, if your lights go off and you ain't got it and you got kids, I'm your friend. If you ain't got food, something befall you, if I got it, you got it. But that wasn't the real world. I tell you, I have been so naive. And to some degree, I can't say that the spirit made me naive. It did not. That spirit helped me develop my creative abilities. If you want to, feel free to Google fifth house Leo. Everything astrology will talk about relative to the fifth house of Leo and the sun, my self-confidence. I'm sorry, but that now I understand, y'all. I'm so passionate about this. I'm sorry. I just want to cry. Oh God, I'm gonna have to kick it with this spirit for real, because I appreciate its investment in me. It wasn't just my family. My family gave me the physical resources, and that spirit helped me know how to, be in those physical things in a masterful way. That they always put me at the center of attention. What am I saying? I'm about to read the chat, y'all. I'm trying to get out. But that spirit helped me develop myself so over the course of my life that when others looked at me, they saw a shine on me that I didn't know they saw. They hated the shine. And the shine came from this spirit helping me cultivate myself. Then I was also known as a person all my life, even when I run into people back from elementary. Oh, you was stuck up. You didn't even talk to nobody. I didn't talk to nobody. I was too busy talking, to the imaginary friend. Of course, I was cordial, high, whatever. But me and this imaginary friend, we were always doing something. So I'll go off in my own corner, get whatever physical, worldly supplies, I could scrape up. It would be sometimes anything. And me and my spirit buddy, I'll say, we'll sit down and we would create beautiful masterpieces of art, work, poetry, whatever. Sat with me for 24 years until I shut it out. But I'm going to talk about why I had to shut it out. I had to. And so people, I'm looking at a few little things I did here in the course of my life where people really let me know how they felt about me. Then there would be other people that say, I was so jealous of you. I wanted to be you. Like, oh, okay. But I never understood where they were coming from. And they would share their perspective of me in my life. And I'm looking like, well, where y'all get that perspective from? Like, huh? And so to some, I seemed, I guess, possibly fake. Now that I think about it, like, she knows what I'm talking about. When the perspective they were sharing with me about how they saw me was not what I was experiencing in my world. How can I say that? So when people would say they wanted to be me, that I dressed nice, that I always looked like I was blessed, that I walked like I have a bunch of pride. Okay, well, why? My question, if I had understood, was, well, why don't you walk with pride? I'm not walking with pride with my shoulders back and head up because I think I'm better than you, that I'm popping my collar on you. This is who I am. So why are you wanting to be me when you can be yourself? And I know, I hope I'm making this make sense. So I didn't understand that. Or when people would try to hurt me, I wouldn't understand what the attacks would come from. If I had something, owned something, bought something, people wanted it. It carried no greater value than that which was in the store of a similar product. But they wanted what I wanted by any means. And so I had to defend myself. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It was because the Spirit taught me to shine. My ascent, again, is Leo. First house Leo. It taught me to shine. And I'm, in the course of my life, I don't know that what is teaching me, what we're sitting down, partaking in all of these years of my life is putting a buff on me. Putting a buff on me. I never knew that. But now, after this tonight, I understand. That's where the shine came from. Because I was like, am I that arrogant? I'm not arrogant. And mind you, Leo, oh wow. I'm still having revelations. I'm going to try to read the chat because I'm still having revelations. I'm overwhelmed. So I really want to tell y'all about the Spirit. I would like to describe her to you, but I can only, I was talking about the third eye. I can only describe her to you because she is, how can I say, she's formulated or formed by her actions. What did I just share? I shared that she helped me shine. So she is shine. I'm going to tell you other attributes that she brought into my life. And the attributes that she, over the years, brought into my life are attributes of herself. So it's like I'll say like this, she possessed me and I project her into the world. My Leo ascent. You get what I'm saying? Make sense? Over. I'm trying to clarify. So I'm trying to describe her. So I lost my mouse. Lord have mercy. Where my cookie at? My nerves bad. My nerves bad, y'all. I'm almost 50 years old and she just coming back. So I'm 49. Last time I talked to that, I'm going to say it like this. Last time I talked to that, talking about the imaginary friend. But I'm 49. I'm going to say about 23, was that 26 years ago? So, my life, your lives keep acting up. Her body, y'all good. Okay, it's hotter than, it's hot in Louisiana. I know, I'm like, it's a little warm here. I'm like, I thought it was the old people stuff I was going through, but it is kind of warm. Please, guys, show me my flaws. I hear you, Nancy. People are at me. I don't know why. But that's why you better be careful what you ask for, because it might be answered, and mine is being answered. You are blowing my wig back, OMG. Did you ever feel outcasted in any, what's this, or way or form? Very outcasted. But that didn't come into, I was always outcasted. Now, who can, this was my life was crazy because, y'all, if you follow me, I talk about how I had, like when I was in high school, this has followed me my whole life. It ain't stopped. I just told y'all about the neighbors suing me. It's the same thing. Trying to sue me. It's the same damn thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Excuse me. I mean, so even in high school, it was the same thing. I had the whole high school on to kick my ass. I'm like, what the hell? I ain't even saying nothing. I did not gossip. Like, I get on here and talk shit now. But I was like, I might as well talk now because I can't seem to stay out of people's, perception. And they always got something to say. And so I might as well talk. For years, I did not talk. Very much unless I was talked to. You know how old folks say don't talk unless you talk to. Unless I was talked to, I didn't talk. I didn't gossip. That's how I lost not this last best friend, the friend before that. I lost her because she said, Nancy, something wrong with you. She said, while we sitting up talking about people, you won't even say a thing. You just say, I'm like, okay. That is your perspective. It is not mine. Because you want to sit up and talk about somebody that gossip don't mean I got to. But that made her hate me. What made her hate me, her door, I shouldn't say too much. I'll just say this. I know for certain. I don't want to say too much because I ain't trying to start nothing. I don't know who watched me or who don't. But I know for certain that she was angry with me as well as her siblings because I had too many blessings in my life. Now, y'all done heard me say early in this live stream, out of everybody I know, they got more money, more wealth, more resources, significant other. All I ended up with was kids and debt. These niggas popping bottles. Oh, excuse my language. I'm the only one. But they have hated me. And it's crazy because you be like, did they really hate me? Why did they hate me? It wasn't per se me. Again, it was that which was developed in me from the spirit. And the best way I can describe it is that my relationship with this spirit for the 23, 24 years of walking with it every single day of my life, again, taught me how to focus and to be very creative and to use my imagination and to do these things. And so it almost seems like that was a way for it to possess me. It taught me, I embodied it, I executed. And so I always knew, everybody that's known me, I have a level, I have a level of mastery. I don't think, like me now, I'm losing the level of mastery. It's just that I'm getting old and I'm tired. And mind you, I've been like, what's her name? Oprah Winfrey and Color Purple. I had to fight all my life. So the spirit, again, has shifted or shared its essence with me since I was a child. And that essence that it shared with me has been so helpful. It has been so helpful in my life. And I really do, and I mean it. That's why I really want to have to kick it with it again. I wonder if it's about to kick it with me. So I got to tell y'all, kick it with me, because, how to say, I wonder if it's about to kick itself with me, or has the remembrance of it came up because I just asked, what's my flaw? And the reason I say that, either it came up in response to me asking God, what's my flaw? And so I was made to remember. Or, see, that imaginary friend, that disembodied spirit that taught me and trained me in creativity, was always related to money and love. Money and love. Venus themes. Maybe I'm a thief in the spiritual realm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 60, 90. Maybe I'm a thief in the spiritual realm. Maybe that dirt, maybe, talking about the spirit, maybe she had me as a thief in the spiritual realm. Got a hold of me when I was younger. And I say that because, again, this entity, was directly related to money and love. Money and love are items of the second house of Taurus. The second house of Taurus and the fifth house of Leo are 90 degrees of separation. And that 90 degrees of separation suggests that they do not understand each other, that it's somewhat of a combative situation. It's like either or. Either we're going to do it this way or we're going to do it this way. And it seems like the Leo energy, wow. The Leo energy, that fifth house Leo energy had me steal from Venus. That might be why I'm going through such hard times now. And I'm talking about the spiritual realm. In the spiritual realm, it may have, hey, I got to look at it closer. But let me just record, y'all, so I won't forget. So, this spirit, was associated with primarily love and money. So I guess now I can jump. I can jump to when I had to excommunicate myself from her. Dang, that's still jumping too far ahead. I gotta draw back a little bit. So I done talked about nursery school, and these are just sporadic stories, but this was the whole contents of my every phase, every part of it, every day. It's been every day. So elementary, I mean nursery, elementary, middle school, still refining. I'm telling you what she told me to do. Oh my God. She told me one day, I asked my mom, now mind you, I can have basically anything I want. And so I wanted, this is when leg warmers came out. So this is in the 80s. This is when leg warmers come out. I said, hey, Mom, I want some leg warmers. Let's go get some leg warmers. Well, for whatever reason, she couldn't go get the leg warmers. I'm impatient, so I got an attitude. I'm sitting up pouting and mad. So homegirl, talking about the spirit, tell me, come on over here. Let's go in here, find some socks. I'm going to show you what to do. And so I'm like, okay. Oh, this bitch that had me, excuse me. I'm cussing, y'all. Here is a advisory. I'm cussing because I'm getting mad because I'm starting to see now. Don't ask or you might receive. So she said, okay, come on here. Come find some socks. Help. This is the girl, the spirit. So we going through the drawers, finding socks. I don't even know if they was my socks, my mom's socks. I think they were my mom's socks. Because I was still in middle school. And so, my mom's socks, so me and the spirit sit down. Remember, she taught me how to sit and to focus for long periods of time. And so she helped me design me some leggings out of my mom's socks. She had me take like 4 socks, 2 for each leg, cut the fit out of each, hand stitch them so I could squish them and stitch it at the bottom. The next day, y'all, I had some leggings. They had just came out. I go to school, I got my leggings on. I had a design of my life. And I go to science. And I'm sitting up there, I think we're having a test or something. And I'm sitting up, I'm doing my test, and she's talking to me while I'm taking this test. So I'm taking this test, my nose running. I always had panic attacks. So I'm taking this test. And then all of a sudden, it was this girl, and she may very well watch me. So I ain't going to say nothing. She got up and walked from the other side of the motherfucking classroom and said, where you get them leg warmers from? I said, I bought them. And she said, you bought them? I said, yeah, I bought them. And so the teacher was looking at her like, because I think we were taking the test, if I'm not mistaken. She's like, you ain't bought them, you made them. I said, okay then, I made them. She hauled off and slapped the dog, and it was some big kids around then. She was real, she had to be close to 6 feet, real yellow woman. She know who I'm talking about. You know, all these people know who I'm talking about. She hauled off and slapped me when my face came around. Y'all also hear me say I got a very, very violent nature. And see, people always had me messed up because I was always into that zone with my spirit buddy or spirit sister, doing these creative projects and refining myself and being polished. So they thought that people always had this false perception of me. Either way. So when she hauled off and slapped me, by the time my head came around, I was up on her. They had to call the Detroit police to get me up off of her. And so I never had no more problem out of her. But my point of bringing that up, pay attention to the whole thing. Those leg warmers just came out, just popping, trendy. My mom, I can have whatever I want, but my mom obviously don't have the time or whatever to go get her, just too tired from working, so she don't go get them. So I was like, I'm pouting. Spirit comes, say, don't worry about it. We grip 4 socks, go to work, we make our own leggings. I'm at school popping the next day, doing what I do because I didn't talk very much, no gossip or anything. I just go to work, do my work. I always have been a person that does what I've been asked to do. I'm not a flip mouth comeback. I'm not a person that challenges you. If I see that you're not a good leader, I will walk away. I will literally walk away. If a person asks me for some help, I would help. But if you just gonna try to lead me to hell, it ain't going down. And so I've always been to myself. But after she slapped me, I had to wax the flow, and I did what I had to do. The flow got waxed. So once again, this spirit, pay attention, the spirit taught me how to design my own leggings. The girl was jealous that I had leggings. I don't think it mattered to her if she was trying to belittle me because I made them. Obviously, she could tell that I made them, but I'm telling her, okay, yeah, I bought them because it was always, y'all gotta remember this stuff, it was always something. This was not something that was rare in my life. This was the norm in my life. It was insane. And so it didn't matter to her. The whole point is she just wanted to antagonize me. She wanted to hurt me. And God is good. Whoever's good, the spirit, that ain't nobody been able to hurt me in my life. When y'all look at my face, all these is what they call gang banging wounds. Ain't nobody been able to hurt me. I'm almost 50. And I ain't being funny. The last fight I had was, sadly to say, well, just stopped short about 2 years ago. Prior to that, 8 years prior to that. But grown ass people out fighting because they don't like me. I done got too old for that. And that's one of my prayers. Now I'm like, okay, God, I ain't never been one that got my ASS. What we gonna do now that I ain't got old? What we gonna do now? And so I got to watch because I ain't gonna take no ASSs. So that only leaves one thing. One thing. That's some scary stuff. And I ain't trying to be incarcerated in my life. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, let me see what y'all saying, because I got to talk about this spirit, because I don't know this spirit here, because I asked about my flaws, or because it's about to be some love or some money, and she gonna be on some bullshit. Trying to make up. Never had a spirit companion who I was aware of its presence. It's a weird. And so I can also relate to you, Nancy. I've been rejected and outcasted my whole life. My whole life. My whole life. Look close at your life. Could that spirit have been an angel? I'm going to tell you. I'm trying to get to. I can't say. I just feel like it may have been, now, in retrospect, a disembodied spirit. No, because the angels worked different that I've encountered in my life. We'll say the demons worked differently. God, or the highest thing that interact with us, maybe Metatron, I don't know, works differently. This spirit worked differently. It seemed like it was possibly a disembodied spirit that just had many talents. Maybe this person was a young prodigy, because again, we grew up together. So when I encountered this child, the spirit, we were both little children. I'm talking about like 4 or 5, as early as I can remember, together from that point on up. And so maybe it was she was like a prodigy or something. Because when I say she, in the course of my life, when I say I have created the most amazing. She's still popping. Oh, but she trained me. I can't say that. Okay. She trained me. So, like I shared with y'all, I went to the University of Michigan for a while. And I was a star artist in their art gallery. They have their own full art gallery. And twice, my paintings were, they call it, displayed as the primary focus of art shows. Am I that great a painter? No, not. See, that's the whole thing to me, is nothing. I just be in the moment. Things I see, hear, and or interpret. When I was painting, I would just paint. And I would just paint. I stopped painting because it was so expensive. When you become a mom and you're a single mom, and this is my reality. I don't know if people get offended about it. I'm from Detroit. So I'm not a wealthy person. I possibly could have done better in my life, but I made foolish decisions. I had a lot of backing. It was me and my imagination and trying to seek after the American dream and just not being able to see. I'm dealing with, like I said, this was another thing. Some people say excuses. I don't give a. Don't let me start cussing. That it's been a heck of a life to live and to always, at every phase of my life, be threatened in every single way. Who am I that somebody will try to assassinate me? I'm poor, you hear me? Poor, fat, black, blah, blah, blah. But that much hate. And so this spirit, even though the gifts it bestowed upon me, it taught me. It also made me that the son of Leo, the focus of center of attention. Like, I'm surprised. Well, no, it's something else going on. That's something else. I ain't gonna mix it up. I'm gonna let it go. But that has to do with, it's something else stopping. I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'll let it go. It's gone. So I've always been the focus. I was going to say I'm surprised I haven't gotten more popular, like even here on YouTube. But then again, I have to look at other aspects in my life too, because it's something else that's been going on that I've been very aware of in the course of my life, and that still hasn't made sense. But Lord, just finish this. Just give me the rest of this information, so we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'm having a breakthrough. So let me see, because I got to. The third eye is what's needed in order to see her appearance. I've described thus far that she made me be the center of attention. How did she make me in the course of my life to be the center of attention? She was able to do so through, again, training me. Training me on what? Just how to use my creative spirit to create the world that I wanted. The world that I wanted. Like, I'm the kind of person, like these DIY channels, I'm the kind of person that can DUI and stay in a zone and come up with a whole fantasy world. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? I've done it many times. And so, wow, that's some deep stuff. That is some deep stuff. I'm gonna have to come back and watch this, because when it's like going back down memory lane, made me want to cry because I didn't know what was going on at the time. I just didn't understand. And so she made me shine, because anything I put my hand to, whether it was my house, y'all watch some of my old videos, you hear me talk about my house and how much work I had to put in, but when I got done. You hear me talk about when I used to go to the hair shops and stuff, and they would start fighting and all kind of shit. And I'm like, have my head done, and I learned how to like braid hair, weave hair, do all that, and then I had 4 girls. But all of that, everything that I put my hands to had to shine. And it may only well have shined because my peers may not have yet have developed those skills. Their life may not have made them have to develop them skills. See, that's how I look at it. Where they're looking at it like, I just know how to do this, or make this happen, or do this, and that. And my whole point is, guess what? I didn't want to do it. My life, after she trained me, at some point in time, at a certain time, my life made me do it. It said, okay, Nancy, if you want to look decent, now you don't have these resources at you, you can make it happen on your own. It's like being droughted out with nothing, but then having a set of skills that you can create the illusion. You can create the illusion. When I say that, droughted out, meaning if a person had the money, they go to the shop, they go buy it, they pay somebody else to do it. That was taken from me. But in the course of my experiences, I got to partake in those various things. I got to pay attention. The spirit can't help me learn how to do. As an Aquarius, I'm like innovative. Like, how you do that? How you do that? That's my nature. And the spirit was teaching me all these things. So, because it was a certain time in my life, like, well, when I learn this? How I know this? But it taught me. And so when that time came and I didn't have the resources anymore, but I had the skill. My hands. That's the resort of my hands now. So what do you do, Nancy? Now that you don't have the resources anymore, life is just dried the fudge up on you for no reason, not making damn sense. Do you just sit down and ball up in the corner and cry? Or do you execute all of those gifts that were given to you that made people hate you? down through list. And so I said, I'm going to use the gifts. And so every challenge that came in my life, I used the gifts. And throughout them years, as I'm using the gifts, I'm acquiring more hate. Every time I executed those gifts, those skills, and those talents that the Spirit taught me, all it brought in was hate to me. It wasn't just hate. I actually, achieved what I needed, the goal in the moment. But what was always with it was hate. Somebody trying to hurt me. Like, who she thinks she is. When y'all hear me say I'm not going to let nobody put me in the box. That's interesting. That's so, oh God. So, let me talk about this spirit. Now, at a certain time in my life, like I talked about high school a little bit, where the high school, almost half the high school wanted to kick on my butt for some, because who was I? My mom was a single mom, so what I'm saying, I went to a school in my area that was known to service the middle class kids. So it's the lower class, it's the middle class, upper class. So these like the middle class kids. Their parents work for the big three. Y'all hear me talk about that? They big three. So these was people. I'm out doing a generation of salt and pepper and all that stuff. And so it was it's always been styles and trending. So the popular kids come in, they wearing their salt and pepper jackets, haircut, asymmetrical, everybody popping, and they went on trips and did all kind of things. And then it was all what we call like nerd people. And some of the nerds, well, I could say their parents were middle class as well. So I can't say that. They just had a like nerd mentality. That's who they were as a person. Okay, whatever. But then there were people, I won't say, there were people that came from families that did not have. And I'm talking about when I was in high school. And their family didn't have, and it wasn't even that. My dog is barking. It wasn't that, I'll say the parents didn't have, I think a lot of their parents made very bad decisions. Some of their parents were alcoholics, drug addicts, possibly would be listed as sex offenders now. Just different things like that. So it was just different people, living their lives differently as they saw fit. But me, I was, again, it wasn't that I was without. Like how can I say this? I knew everybody. I still wasn't talking. At this point in time in my life, the spirit was there, but she like really only helped me, I'll say mostly the arts. It was more of arts. That's what I say. She kind of tapped in and I think caused me to offend the goddess Venus. Something happened there in the spirit, but I'm not trying to figure it out right now. I'm going to figure that out at some other time. Just trying to get this clear. And so when I'm in high school, it's again, I told you about this array. The kids that don't have to the kids that may have, but a little more nerdy. It's the religious kids. It's the real popular kids, and then the most popular kids. So I knew everybody across the spectrum. And I was always quiet. If I wasn't spoke to, I didn't speak. That's who I am. So there were people on high school level that didn't like me because I didn't speak, because I wasn't a talkative person. Or they didn't like me because of the way I dressed. And this was crazy. It wasn't the kids per se that didn't have. They were going through their own emotional turmoil. The most they wanted to talk about, they might needed to shoulder the crown. If any young folk in here, if you came up through the school system, it's been a friend or a peer of yours that's went through it. You walk in the bathroom or something on, and they crying, going crazy, needing emotional support. But that's what my relationship with them kind of folk that I may have ran into. It was just hi, bye, whatever. Then it was the nerds. The nerds, I wasn't on a scene because they were just, I don't know what it means to really like be a nerd. I don't know why they dressed the way they dressed. Maybe they were more mimicking their parents. I don't know. Maybe they had older parents, because some nerds weren't smart. Some nerds were smart. Like some of them popular kids were real smart. They had world travels, but they moved fast. The nerds, that's the thing, they didn't move fast. Popular kids move real fast. That's why I didn't rock well with them. Then it was the religious kids. They was cool, but they had a lot of constraints around them by being religious, everything. I had Christian friends, Jehovah's Witness friends. And my mom was a Jehovah's Witness, but she didn't, force that upon me. But my point of saying is I've kind of related to everybody. But the people that I had the big problem with were the real popular kids. I shared. I had a single mom. Yes, she had a decent job. Uh, and I could do what I want. She'd be like, Nancy, you wanna? I don't want to, mama. It got to a point I don't even want to do it. Nope, I ain't interested. I'm cool. You sure? You only live one? Nope, I'm fine. I'm fine. Because what my mom didn't know that I knew about my peers in high school, other people in my community, is that they lived pretty fast. And I said earlier that what I was asked to do, I did. Whatever my mom asked me to do, I did. Did I make some mistakes? Yes. When I fell in love, I started sneaking out. But other than that, whatever my mom asked me to do, I did. These kids, that ain't what they did. You know what I'm saying? Their parents will tell them certain things. Some of them had great parents. Tell them certain things. Shit, them kids were like whatever, and they go on and do their own thing. That wasn't me. So I couldn't rock with them because when they went off to go do whatever, I would just turn around and go back home. Is somebody at the door?
It was me.
Oh, okay. I'm live. What you want?
Nothing. I seen you was live. You seen me come back out.
Oh, okay. Oh, get her up out of here. I don't like her no more. She got to go. And I'm having a breakthrough. Only disturb me if Mike Hill come. Text her and tell her I said make her way. She what? Mm. Oh God. So, let me see what throw me off. Oh, Lord. Could the spirit have been an angel? No, okay. That's awesome though. Okay. So, what is it talking about? So, the popular kids at high school. Why am I talking about this? Because I'm still talking about the primary focus of this live stream is the spirit, this disembodied spirit that helped me cultivate my creative skills. Even in high school, it's there, primarily focusing around the arts. And so, because I didn't, join forces with the popular kids, they say half the school wanted to kick my butt. They wanted to kick my butt, the gangs, everybody. And so I was harassed for a while, but I always tell you I have a vicious spirit. I'm going to have to figure out what that's, maybe now let's make vicious spirit make sense. Vicious spirit. So, again, we have people that were always underestimating me because of my, I guess it seemed passivity when I was just preoccupied, like in my own mind. They said, Aquarius, get out of your mind. Do you really understand what you're saying? See, I was in my mind. I had a whole relationship with a disembodied spirit that did train me. And it manifested in this physical world as excellence. What's going to happen now? I can't wait to see. I'm a little worried, but I don't know. And so, in high school, these... Story ran deep. Goddamn. Excuse me, but I'm just thinking about stuff. Ran deep. That's some deep stuff. I gotta go back to that part. I can't talk to y'all about this part, but I gotta go back to that part because it had to fit in there somehow. Foreign language. So, I'm just trying to say in short that I was on varsity tennis. I was on the tennis team a few years. I was on varsity tennis, and varsity tennis was composed of the popular girls. Now, mind you, the popular girls really thought they were, and the guys thought they were somebody special. And I'm an Aquarius. So, Aquarius is the other person that kind of puts you in your place. Like, you ain't that great, Leo. You're not that great. So, I think I was offensive to the popular kids because I'm like, I ain't say this to them, but like I said, when they got crewed up to go do something, I'd be like, they be going this way, like, Nancy, where you going? I throw my hand, look, where my hand? I throw my hand up and I be walking. I ain't even saying nothing. I ain't going with y'all. Y'all talking about fooling. Like, when it came to my senior time, yeah, they hated me. I was in serious danger. I done been in some serious danger with the police that had to get involved because they people didn't know what was going to freak on around me. The school I was always a liability. Always a liability. And I remember just like, why don't people like you? I will be in my own world. I don't know. But now I understand it was that shine. Yep. Not only was I on varsity, I was on a dance team. You know, every school got their dance team. And so I was on a dance team, varsity tennis, and things like that. So those are kind of creative kind of things, you know, especially dance. And and a lot of girls in high school when I came up were sizes 0 to maybe 8. I was a 10, 11. So I was always a big one in comparison. I'm 10, 11, they zeros. That's However, but them being smaller than myself never stopped me from putting my leotards on and do my play, whatever it was. I never stopped. And oh Lord, it was a lot. Didn't know what was going on. Oh, okay, I see. I do see. I couldn't see. Now I see, and I know. Okay, that's crazy. That's what irritates me about life. All these years, I've been asking questions, but couldn't see, and it was just being piled upon each other. All that stuff. But now I see. Okay, it's the reason that I've seen. I must be ready now. Okay. So, after high school, same thing happened in college. Every single level. In my private life, professional life, and every educational level. Every single level. Every level. So, let me talk about this phase when, after I had children. Let me say. In the course of my life, due to my creative abilities, them being refined let me talk about I got to talk about the fifth house. The fifth house of Leo. You know, Leo, the sun is a representative of your central source power or your ego, your drive, what inspires you. It has to do with, living from the heart. It's about being courageous, bold. Depending on who you are, you could be flamboyant, all kind of bossy. It's a real go-getter and a leader. The fifth house also talks about taking risks, business risks, and different things like that. It talks about true love. Didn't have that. I did not have that, y'all. That's why I get mad, start cussing at God. I ain't get that. That's what I saw. And so, because I achieved such a level of excellence, I've taken risks. I done had big money in my life during periods. So, now mind you, my big money, like, woof, it come like, I don't know, flashes, woof. But whenever I had the big money, you hear me say I'm ruled by Saturn. Oh, I was learning all along how to keep myself safe and to survive and to live a fairly fair quality of life. So when I would get these big flashes of money due to my genius and mastery and then, woof, I would handle my stuff way out. Just spray it out. Hit everything up. Do whatever I had to do. And so I'm still moving through life and I'm still looking okay and decent. Me and my kids ain't never busted. While we could, we had a car, whatever. We had nice furniture, always had food, this, that, here, all done. So, it's just the shell, it's the surface. Like I said, everybody I know, they live in a life. See, the reality was they were able to drive Hummers. I had a little car. When I had my car, they driving big Hummers and Escalades and this Cadillac, whatever they want, they doing whatever and traveling and buying houses. I ain't get to do that. And so I never understood why, in my private life, when we start coming out of school into adult, why people hated me. I just shared with y'all, this was last summer, I think, I made a video about my most recent last best friend and how I lost her as a best friend. And I was like, I don't understand what happened. I mean, I know what happened, but I don't understand what happened. I talk about her quite often. But again, she's a Leo, but who I was trained by in the spiritual realm was a Leo. And so she taught me to shine. I don't know. I kind of feel like some cheating was taking place in the spiritual realm. And I got to go contest because I ain't had nothing to do with it. The spirit got a hold of me when I was young. But no, I ain't gonna apologize because she gave me some beautiful gifts. But I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. So the last I kept seeing this look on my best friend's face, and I love her dearly. I was like, what? I made the video, y'all. It was called, I forgot what it was called. I was sitting outside making it, trying to figure it out. And I was like, now what I would say, I always had this creative flair. She was more business oriented. She ain't gonna negotiate too much. Me, I over negotiate. I be free. She wasn't like that. So I thought she and I fit well together as far as we could really do something, and we did start trying to do something. And I'm watching her like just kind of try to take it over, and I'm like, oh, like I said, when it's you the wrong leader, I just stop. I ain't arguing. I'm not fighting. I'm not just. All thing I do is take your blessing out of it. Take your gift, your skill, and you'll know how out of it, and let them go ahead and do what they gonna do. And so that's what I did when I saw that developing. But I didn't know where it come from. I thought I saw it because one time she made me. I hope she don't watch this, but it is what it is on math. One day she made me so angry when we went out because she a Leo, so when she go out, she real popular, So she real popular. So how can I say this? So she pop her lip gloss. She goes out. She's very well known. And everybody know me. Me and her known each other for a while. So I'm like her, sidekick. She the one with all the friends. I'm kind of a loner. But one day she fooled on me about something. And I'm not talking about verbally fooled. She fooled on me with body language. Because it had been, sometimes I, as a person, I do shine. And again, I don't mean to. I might just be in a great mood, or I just created something. And so that shine is still on me. And so when we out in public, that's when I get more gentleman's attention. You know, that's messed up. That's not fair, God. That's not fair that I'm not gonna cuss. I'm getting upset. Okay, so this something like that probably was going on. Like I remember one guy was like, "Oh my God, I had found this wonderful oil." He was like, "Oh my God, you smell." He's like, first he said, "Which one of you smells that delightful?" And so she was like, "It's me, of course." I was like, and he said no, and he fronted. See, so people started fronting on her. Ego was so big. He was like, "No, it's not you. It's her." And so, he came and said, "You smell so wonderful." And that would like, yeah. That's the dark side of Leo. Like, yeah. So she would go crazy. And so she kept doing that. That kind of stuff just kept happening because God was trying to reveal her nature to me. Because it kept happening. I'm like, what the fuck going on with her? She must be going through something. Just let it go, Nancy. Let it go. Because she had really been a great friend. So I'm like, let it go. Let it go. And then, why am I talking about her? Because she Leo. And that spirit Leo. So one day, I was like, I'm sure. She made some statement as if I was less than her. Wrong statement. Like I said, I don't intentionally try to take the light. Sometimes I just end up taking the light. So this one time after she kind of suggested and kept acting like that I was smaller, because I guess she felt little, like when the guy said, "Oh, that's not you smelling like that. That's her." And and he came to acknowledge that in me. I think that really hurt her feelings. So I guess she called herself trying to set me low. And she said some slick shit, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so next time we would, shortly after, we went to go to a party. And I said, and I talked to myself. I guess I was talking to this spirit because I turned up that night. We was on a party bus, and every bar we went to, I had the line behind. What they call that little line? Yep, I had the line behind me. This has been most recently. In the last few years, I turned up everywhere. When I say she couldn't say a thing, we went a couple of places. I had a table full of men all around me. Everywhere we went, we was all up and through downtown Detroit and every place. High and low. We went everywhere, and I turned up. And I was like, woo, by the time I got home, I was like, I'm tired. That take too much energy to be showboating. I was like, oh God, but it served the purpose at the time. She calmed down. It served the purpose. But when I tell y'all, I was wore the fudge out. I'm not a person that can entertain a whole lot of spirits. I don't want to entertain a whole lot of spirits. And when I say entertain a whole lot of spirits, I'm talking about each person has spirits. And the more people you interact with, it's draining. It's draining. That's something she ain't work up on that magnitude that I worked on that day. But it's a lot to deal with a lot of different people and stuff, and they got back in them. And I bring it up because she too wanted to kill me. That time was over, said, and I just, but this last round, I was like, I just give up. I just give up. I just give up. I walk away. I'm done. And so I've been sitting here in my head rag ever since. I was like, that enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Okay, so back to this spirit. I had to bring it up to talk about, because I realized the correlation between the Leo energies. Life. Oh my God. So, talking about this spirit and the training that it gave me. Oh, hi Pam. Hi, hello Nancy. Hope all is well. Hello. It's all is good. Zane, I said I had a Leo do this to me, and a Gemini, someone complimented me and wasn't expecting it, and got mad, honey. Oh, baby. You want to see some fire? Let somebody overlook a Leo for somebody else. Woo! Like, fire. And like, don't even be looking for it. But it's something wrong anytime you don't want another person to compliment someone else over yourself. See, that's not me. And that makes my Leo scent making more sense to me now. Because the old best friend, she is a sun Leo, and I don't remember the rest of her chart, but I know she's a sun Leo. She's a naturally bred Leo, and the ascent is ascent. The ascent, meaning some past life experience had some influence or impact upon me having this Leo, these Leo character traits, and so I think another thing that happened with me and the old best friend is that again, I'm more withdrawn, humble, modest. Somebody can compliment you all day long. I'll be like, oh, that's nice. I'm be in my own world. Like, that's wonderful. So when people would, like I say, if I shine too bright at any given time, it was offensive to her. And then she got married. And so that's when I really picked it up like, damn. I tried to keep, my mom always raised me to stay a distance from a man, and a woman and her man. You only go around them when you're invited. And she confronted me about that. And I told her exactly how I was raised. And I'm like, hey, what I'm saying? Let me know when you free, ready to hang out, rock, roll. But it came that if I shine in front of her husband, it was an issue. And I'm not talking about me shining, trying to shine. I'm talking about maybe a joke is told or something said, and just instinctively I say something wittingly, and oh my God, it's hysterical. That's a shine. Didn't mean to do it, just in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Or sitting at a table, all of a sudden somebody go to knock something over, and I catch it mid-drift. That's a shine. Like, dang, you was on point. But that's nothing that you plan to do. Just in the moment, responding to the moment from who you are. See, that's what I mean by just a natural shine, not trying to shine. I ain't talking about like when I went out and intentionally did it. I was like, whew, I was wore out. But I'm saying that shine bothered her. It bothered her. And she told me, I remember she said one time, she said, man, if we had known each other in high school, you'd have been following me around too, because she got a lot of friends. And they was one day sitting up to all her old friends she had grew up with, talking about how they used to follow her, and she used to get them all in trouble, and this, that. And I was like, I was like, no, I wouldn't. I was like, no. And then when she, no. And need wise adult, no. Like I said, if you want some bullshit, I'm going the other way. The good thing about her is that she was very mature. That's why I really liked her. She was mature, but she just had this thing that she was the leader. again, she's a natural Leo. I'm Leo ascent, and also I was trained by this spirit, and so I possess the same energy that she maybe as a son. See, now I'm starting to understand. Is it possible that if a person is born a sun Leo, remember the sun is like your guiding light, is that which it manifests in this physical now. So maybe the sun energy is what you're training to do. Training. That's why I'm here in this world. Where the ascent is something that is an influence from your past life. So in a way, I may have been stronger than her because let's say I incarnated 1,000 years ago as a Leo or was trained by a Leo 1,000 years ago, and a remembrance came upon me in this lifetime. So she flossing on everybody, but when it came to me, you can't floss. And I'm not doing anything offensive. I'm not arguing or fussing. And that may have very well been a thing because she may have been a training, but just more advanced Leo. Where me, I'm like, okay, right. Don't you don't, I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, didn't even have to try. That's deep. I have to think about that. That's deep. So I still haven't talked about the spirit. So now I want to talk about the spirit. Because I done showed y'all how she done told y'all how she is trained me. It trained my creative abilities in various aspects. And due to that training, due to the skills and talents I acquire as a result of that training, there have been many times that I have, we'll say, created masterpieces in this physical world. And those masterpieces always were, I'll say, acknowledged with shine, or the acknowledgement of others. It either sparked jealousy or anger or somebody wanting to be me, or eventually it ended up with big booms of money. Big booms of money. So, in the course of my life, people, again, even my siblings, like, how you keep getting all this money? Big booms of money. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? So now I'm talking about the spirit. Now that y'all see how the spirit worked with me and how it had an impact upon me and my peers and everything and family, and my finances and everything. I'm saying this here. I really thinking I got to think deeper on this subject matter though. I think that spirit had me stealing from Venus in some way. I'm thinking about it later. So why did I separate myself or stop? I'll say stop being conscious. Hi, mermaid. Stop being conscious, I'll say, because it ain't separated. But I had to shut it down. Stop being conscious of the spirit after about the age of 23 or 24. It is because, we're using our third eye now. We already know she shine. She bring, she get high proficiency. Explain this stealing from Venus. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to finish this video out. So I will have this recorded. Y'all please y'all don't know how much TMI y'all getting. And in this TMI, y'all getting the spiritual world. Y'all getting the spiritual world. The real spiritual world is real spiritual in action. But I have to go into more contemplation on it. This just happened to me before I started this live. This realization, this remembrance. And so, we're about to use our third eye. This is the way y'all can use your third eye. I guess we can use this as a training session if you don't know how to use your third eye. Because what we want to see is this spirit. How do a person see spirits? Here's an example. First thing we know about this spirit, that it taught me to shine by doing what? Focusing. Focus and be creative. Do this, glue this, smooth that, do that, shade this, that, it. That's what it did. And I did that. And it spent much time. He was right there with me, focused the whole time. So, and because I was able to embody what it taught me, it did what? It bought. I got 8 views, 2 likes. That's a goddamn shame. Just 8 views. They just won't let me get down. I'm going to explore that later on. So, I had to go get me some serious. Where is the... Okay. So, wow. Third eye. Let's see. So we know that about her. So you should start getting an image in your mind's eye, I'll say, of this entity. We know she's female. We know she's approximately my age, because we came up as children. Um, so she's my age at any given time. Um, she shines. She has the ability to shine something. Could you imagine somebody coming through and wiping their hands over something and it just starts to shine? She has that ability. You go. So that's part of her her imagery. Nancy, before you go, can you ask Spirit about my twin flame? You know what? It's not that, James, that I ask the spirits anything. Is if they have something to say, then I get the message. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna make anything up. But like if they were to ever say something about to y'all, then I would say it. But I can't say, I ain't being funny. I can't say when it's gonna happen. It just happens. So like I said, if I pick up something, James, I will say something and share, but I don't know. That's what I say. It could be a message in here, in this whole stream. It might be one gem for you that may answer your question, but I can't find that gem for you. You know what I'm saying? This is why, and I'm not focusing on you, just James. I'm saying to all, this is why they say you have to choose wisely who you watch and who you follow, because you are being exposed to different, we can say, stuff or spirits based on who you follow, listen to, or who you keep company with. Because eventually you're going to pick up a gem somewhere or a piece of coal somewhere. And so what am I saying, James? I'm saying that if you have inquiries concerning your twin flame, I personally just don't say, hey, spirits, what you got to say about James twin flame? That ain't never happened to me. But if it want to say something, say this person James, and it'll start talking and telling all your business, or what you want to know, or what they want you to know. It ain't about what you want to know. What they want you to know, they'll tell me. But that ain't happening, and I can't force it. But what I can say is, because you are present in this room, look at me. I'm gonna look at the facts, James. I have been on YouTube 5, I think, going on 6 years. Right now, every live stream I make has about 3 to 10 people. This is no different. Live stream, right after prime time, I'm up to 8 people. You are one of those 8 people. So what I'm saying was, the contents of what I talk about, even though it may be out of order, and I have an outline, and I might be considered rambling or ranting at times, in this live stream are some gems that I believe can be beneficial to you. Now, I've seen Queen Design pick up on some of them gems relative to her own life. It's not that what I'm saying is the answer to what she may have concerns about in life. But as I share, like she says, ooh, you making me remember something. Because I may have said something, I sparked her to remember something. So as I continue with this live stream, I may very well say something, and you be like, that go with my twin flame. Those are things I can't identify. Those are your gems. Hope that makes sense. So right now, here's a lesson in using your third eye. So we know she around my age now. She got a shine on it, like Mr. Shine. Bling. So, and is she directly related to love and money? Always happy. Love and money, one way or another. So, as I progress in my life, a part of the Leo energy, or the 5th house energy, is gambling. I went through a bad gambling habit about 20 years ago. I just came out to church. So I'm gonna say about 20 years ago. I'm losing track of time, y'all. So sometimes my numbers might not add up. And I went through. This life has been absolutely insane. I gambled for a couple of years, real hard, and I only won a few times. Those are totally separate stories. I would have to go over to my other channel to start telling you about them kind of things in my life, because the spirit's attached to them. I don't be joking or just trying to entertain y'all. it's real spirits attached to all things, including like gambling. The gambling, a person having bad enough gambling habit, they are very dangerous. They will murder you, possible suicide, all kind of things, all kind of spirits walking around, especially in casinos. So y'all be careful about that. Uh, you said related to love and money, even in preschool, because you got to look at preschool is what your preliminary years, your learning years. That's when I first remember, you know, can recall her being with me. I'm trying to think back as far as I can go, but I know then she was with me. She was training me. Remember, she was teaching me how to focus, how to build, how to be creative, and things like that. And what it did, it made me shine. At that time, I was shining. Always shining. I was known as a little cute girl with the really long hair. Don't look at me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And my brothers hated me. My brothers hated me since I was a little bitty one. Uh, I done had some experiences now. And so, talking about the third eye. And so the next thing is, how can I say, because fifth house is associated with risk and risk taking and business endeavors, all of which I've tried in my life, and gambling. I've had those experiences as well. And how can I say, so it was these big booms of money. How can I say this? Because this is when I start falling out with the spirit. Let's say it was a time period in my life where the big booms of money came. Like one time I used to go over in Canada and play bingo. I used to love playing bingo. I played with my kids' father's family. We would be over there all night long. I got black curtains down. Black curtains in my room. So I had black curtains and blinds because I was like a vampire. We'd be gone 2-3 days. And then, after they opened them casinos, like, and so, like, at one time I won like $10,000 just playing bingo in a month. So I would get these different big booms of money from unexpected places. Like I said, I always did very positive things with it. That's why I couldn't see that I was wrong. I could not see that I was wrong at all. And then like I said, I went through the phase where I was paying for stuff, but all kind of crazy stuff kept happening, and the spirit was teaching me, so I learned how to do hair. And to take, I did everything. That's why I'm tired now. I'm really old and tired, even at my age. Wasn't from partying and hanging out. It was from really working and trying and to sustain my life and to create a lifestyle for not just me but for my children. That's what you pay attention to my terminology. And so these big booms of money would come. So just imagine y'all ever seen Fred Sanford of Sanford and Son say, "Oh, Lisbeth, it's happening." So you just imagine when I would get these big booms of money, this spirit we seeing in the third eye is like boom, boom, but never know. So, at any given age, around the same age as me, I want to say though that the spirit may have possibly at some point in time, prior to some disembodiment, I want to say as a Caucasian person, probably when it did have a body. I really want to say that. I really do. But I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So another character trait of this spirit. See, this is when the real character of the person started becoming clear to me in like with my 20s and things like that. So that's 20 years ago. Oh, I'm getting old. Like, so in my 20s, so this big boom of money. Number one, I'm always fighting. I'm not a violent person. I'm a non-violent person unless you hit me. I'm cool. So I'm always fighting. Always got to defend myself. Always got to protect myself. Always got to safeguard myself because there's always somebody stealing from me or trying to steal from me to the point I got paranoid at a certain time in my life. Didn't want no, couldn't have, I was like, Lord, and they talk about, it ain't about the quality of the people. It's about the spirits that you're dealing with. It ain't, it's all, I'm having people stealing from me, all kind of like, what the fuck is, going on? So I don't went with all this. So all of these things are happening and I'm not yet tying it to the spirit. I'm not, like I said, just really today I got it. But what ended up happening, how can I say this? I noticed when I got big money at a certain time, I changed. You know how they say people change when they get money? I was one of them. But I didn't change like acting funny, because you gotta remember, I'm in a place where I'm in my own world. So I don't have no malice toward anybody. I just know that I'm always threatening. So when I get this big money, I can't make no mistakes. Because if I make a mistake, then, and like my mom died when I was like 29, and I knew she was the only one that had my back. Everybody else had tried me one way or another, from a dangerous level, not nothing I can ignore. So I was like, anytime I got money, I knew I had to do right by it. I had my first child when I was 20. By 24, let's say 20. By 24, I had 3 children. So I'm fighting off people. I'm fighting people. I'm trying to provide for the 3. You know, they dead in and out like wishy-washy. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? Why do you be wishy-washy one minute? I didn't understand. What are you doing? I was like, okay, Nancy, all you can do is depend on you. This is my mind frame. So while people just like not liking me, actually not liking the spirit impression upon me, I'm struggling trying to take care of myself, making sure, I was raised with a particular quality of life. I don't think anybody should be abused or misused in this physical world. So I'm definitely not going to let it happen to my children, and I ain't trying to live it. So whenever these booms will happen, I'm like, okay, now you got this boom. You got to be up on your game. You got to pay this, pay it out. Pay it out a year. Pay it out 2 years. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Cabinet stack. Done, done, done. That's how I got into prepping. I was already doing it for my own security. So, but I remember it was this time that I was running. I would have money and I couldn't sit. I mean, I would be tired. I couldn't go to sleep. The spirit got to the point, let me tell you, the spirit, seeing what I thought that, had me where I couldn't go to sleep. Like people be on drugs, they be up. I couldn't go to sleep. I had to stay up, active. Fast metabolism at the. You just swore I was on drugs. My mama asked me one day, "Are you on drugs?" No. It was the spirit keeping me up. She had. Who is that? Oh, that's Pearl. Who you talking to? Oh. I have a question. Here, where am I? Who has my phone? You don't have it? Here, Pearl, I want you to do this. No, that's wrong. I done got upset, y'all. I wish I could have seen what I see now then. Answer that. I'm still live. I'll be done in a short while. Well, I can't even say a short while because I'm just recording. So, when these booms will come, I will really invest. So, if people around, you never know, people around you rise or fall, they need problems and body. And at that time, I'm real naive anyway. If you was in my world, I'll call you a friend or in-law or family if you need. And after I take care of me, I got you. I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? And so people would come to me or my significant other and it'd be whatever, going through some stuff. And okay, whatever, tear them off, whatever they need. Of course, I never got paid back. It took a long time before I woke up. Okay, but that was what he did or what I did, but I was always in motion handling my stuff. So I was here with people standing on the side. I'm like, without food, without the trials and tribulations that people go through that people don't talk about like here on YouTube. This is real things. And so I know these people, I know people that's really, really well to do now, but they still had their trials and tribulations. And I'm sure they still, with money, still have trials and tribulations. If you got all the money in the world, you might be having medical problems. Come on, certain things that people don't really talk about here on YouTube that I know of. So, I don't know. So, I'm coming up, I'm passing out whatever need to be passed out. I'm like, and I'm in the church then. I'm like, God gonna take care of me. I ain't gonna worry about it because I keep boom. I always get these big booms of money, so I ain't worried about it. I know how to keep my stuff paid up. So I'm just constantly moving. So I was never part of the, whatever was going on. I would be the last one to know what was going on. Period. I was the last one that got a cell phone. And I just successfully kept the same number, I think, over the last 5-6 years for the first time. Everybody used to talk about me like a dog. And they still talk about me because when I walk out the door, I don't even answer the phone. It's in the bottom of my purse. So that's still the same thing. I never been a person that has like been in the midst of social stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm there, but I'm not there. You know, I say Aquarius is airheaded or absent-minded, or it's because I'm somewhere else. I'm doing something else. So it came this time that I couldn't sleep. I did not sleep well. I was uncomfortable in my own skin. And it's a direct result of the spirit. The spirit got me so amped up like a dope fiend. Always on the go, mind always running, very highly creative. But it was always, how do I say, it had this eagerness to it. Now the spirit, after we developed to a certain age, had this eagerness to it. It was it's anxiousness to it. Like it's always had to be something done, and it must be done. It must be done right away. I couldn't procrastinate. I just started kind of procrastinating. Now I go, I couldn't procrastinate. I'm telling you, I couldn't sleep. Sleep. What they say, let the dead sleep. You sleep when you're dead. That was me. I gotta go. Got to go do this, this, and this. Now this is the crazy thing in my life. People didn't like me. They never gave rational reasons. Because people looked at me also as a goody two shoe, that I thought I was better than them because I didn't gossip. These are the things that I heard as feedback. You know, because I always looked at the feedback like, okay, their feedback will tell me what my flaw is. It never did. I'm goody two shoes because what, I didn't talk a lot, or I didn't get involved in the nonsense, those kind of things. And so I'm like, how would I say? I was trying to say, where my glasses at? Because I don't forget. I'm just tripping because I remember going through this phase, and this is around even around the time my mom died. It's the spirit tried to come back then, and I told y'all about it because the spirit of that's associated with starvation and the spirit of cannibalism came and met me that day, and I sat with them a brief moment just to be able to understand them. But that day, the spirit, that anxious spirit, started trying to come back up. And when I talk about anxious, this spirit is so mind you, y'all looking at this spirit at the age of about 20 now, through me. And so I didn't sleep well. I was very, very uncomfortable in my skin, as far as it hurt literally to be in his body. It would hurt to be in his body. At that time I probably weighed about about 180, I think. I used to be kind of stocky, so I was very, because I played tennis for a long time, so I was real stocky. But it hurt. It really hurt. It hurt. I'm not talking about arthritis hurting the joints. I'm talking about it hurt my body. I understand when I talk about drugs, y'all. I understand about drugs and why people get caught on drugs. I understand what it is for like the spirit to just be uncomfortable with this flesh body and the whole surface of it. It's insane, the experience I had. And so in my 20s, I was there, and this spirit gave these big booms of money. There were many creative endeavors that I partook in, and they were highly beneficial. Whole time I'm being threatened or I'm in danger. And then it came, how can I say, it came this spirit period where I'm trying to talk about the spirits, the character traits associated with the spirit so we can see. It was a level of arrogance that I had. This is why people didn't like me. It wasn't that I was arrogant, it's just everything that I was talking about. It carried this air of arrogance, and of pride. Arrogance of pride and pride. Like I say, I'll be walking down the street, they be, girl, I want to be you. What do you mean you want to be me? You walk confidently and everybody, well, you do it. But it was this air. I'm not saying that I'm not confident in me nor proud. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it wasn't, what was it, malignant? What was the word? malignant. Sometimes I can't even think. You know what I'm saying? And so the spirit carries this arrogant and proud energy. But you gotta remember, I was reared with this spirit since I was a child. So it was the norm to me. It was the norm to me. And so if just by chance, if somebody had the words to say and was able to articulate possibly how they truly perceived me and wasn't saying things from a point of emotional anger with me because they presumed me as arrogant, or they presumed me as proud, or they presumed me as flamboyant, or they presumed me as bossy, but have they really ever been able to articulate what may have been occurring? I don't know how to say it. Maybe I would have seen, because I could not see arrogance at all. I couldn't see that I was proud or extravagant. I couldn't see that. It was the norm to me. It's always been the norm to me. With the spirit came a high level of intuition. I could foresee, and it probably came from all of them years of sitting up. Could you imagine, basically start with a kid building these blocks, but all the years of building and sculpting and looking at patterns and things like that. And wow. And it built a level of intuitiveness from constantly working on patterns, depending on what we were creating, we were working on. And what I found at a certain level, this phase I went through. And I think of the phase somewhat of a defense kind of mechanism, defense reaction. That if everybody gonna hate me and I can't make sense of it, if people gonna hate me and they got more than me, maybe more beautiful than me, have more money than me, have a better mate than me, then I might as well be who they want me to be. Might as well be who they want me to be. And so I did go through this stage, but it was just like that day I went out and turned my son up intentionally. It was too much for me. I was tired. I couldn't do it too long. But the spirit also was very presumptuous. So imagine a female figure that can put a shine on it. Very arrogant, persuasive, fun. Leo's about fun and warm. Very proud, and very intuitive. You said what? You think what? And also very presumptuous when the intuitiveness turns into this presumptuousness, a negative energy. And so what am I trying to do? I'm trying to transition from the positive gifts that the spirit brought into my life. You see her now. If you kind of visualize your third eye, very, possibly arrogant, proud, put that shine on it, and intuitive and things like that. But even to the point that the light that this entity had, just like I talk about my old best friend, when she wasn't acknowledged over myself, so the spirit had kind of energy too. So that energy became dark in my life. That's when I couldn't sleep. If I had money, oh my God, like if I could start, I can say hibernating, coming down. If that boom, my money came, now up at it, like a spirit, it was jerking me. It started jerking me. And one day I realized, I was like, hold on. I'm running and I'm spending money, throwing money up, just doing, again, I wasn't misappropriating money. But it's like I started, could you imagine like going to Costco's? Who people go to Costco's to do? Buy bulk stuff. I'm saying, got to keep going back. So imagine if I just been to Costco's this moment. And I'm like, okay, I'm done shopping. I really don't have much money now. It's time to save and sit down. Boom! Money. Big money. Like, oh, gotta go. And back at Costco's buying the same goddamn thing or something else. Just running. And I just remember one time, my spirit was like, hold on, wait a minute. And I had to calm myself down. I was like, stop. And so this is when me and that spirit fell out. And I shut her out. Because it had me running. It's like I couldn't sleep. I was uncomfortable in my skin. Like I said, as soon as I sat down, like, boom, money, go. Like the money, and one day I was like, Nancy, you letting the money run you. When that start? It ain't like you ain't never had nothing. What is going on here? And that's when I was really able to identify a spirit. I didn't know it was that spirit that trained me with them blocks when I was little. That's the revelation that came today. The shine. Understanding where the shine came from, that revelation came today. I didn't know that spirit that had me running in my 20s like I was a goddamn nut was the same spirit. It had morphed and grew. It was my norm. It was standard and comfortable to me. But at a certain age, it was out of control. It was out of control. It was reactive. It was responsive. It was, I don't know how to say it, because it was this conscious anxiousness and ready to go. Was I on drugs? No. Was I drinking? Social drinker every now and then? No. This was my normal energy. But I also knew that it wasn't me, Nancy, my spirit. It was this other entity that had me go, 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 spin, go, do, go, think, think, think. And at that time, I also started, because I had so much energy, I also started hanging with people that I know didn't like me. Not all, well, I can't say that. I was hanging within the midst of people that didn't really like me. So some liked me, some didn't. But I knew that I had always, in my right mind, always stayed withdrawn, which is a bad thing too. And that's how I kind of justified it to myself. Like, Nancy, you can't just keep yourself withdrawn. It's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people do. But people gonna go what was popping and was trendy. I ain't never been popping and trendy. You know what I'm saying? Popping and trendy is important. Running with your peers is more important than following truth. And I've been known that. Am I saying it's correct? No, I'm not. But I'm saying that's been the case. It has been the case. So what am I saying? I'm saying, so even if I was hanging with those that were okay with me, they was cool with me, maybe been like myself, having spiritual experiences and things, and maybe quiet, playing their role in the social group. They might talk to me about them kind of special experiences, but they ain't gonna talk to the ones that's more earthly, more popping and stuff. They ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But so if the earthly ones, the ones that are more popular, they got more, more finesse and ability or whatever, more social pool, if they turn and don't like me, be like, I don't like her. Or if they see me and this other person hanging too much, like, oh, let me break this up. Hold on, wait a minute. And so that other person, everybody want to be accepted. They going to go with, we say, the boss. So those are kind of things I dealt with. And so when I'm talking about how this spirit had me making bad decisions at certain times about who I hung with. And this is what I have a problem with now. So I'm going into another phase. And this is relative to my children. I got 5 adult children. And I can't stand them. I talk about it here on YouTube. I try not to talk about them too much, because y'all be like, y'all, you wrong. But I can't. I be like, but life showed me tonight. It says the same spirit that you were dealing with is the same spirit that my kids dealing with. Because people will say, Nancy, your kids each remind me, the people that's known me the longest, of different phases in your life. I'm like, you think? They be like, yeah. Everybody's like, this is you then, this is you then, this is you playing this role, and this is you playing this role. And so one day I sat back and I was like, they are representative or reflection of who I was at different phases in my life. I was like, that's interesting. And then one of the things that really, really bothered me about them is like the whole story I just told y'all. But it's to the point where, like, the space where I left that spirit off and I wouldn't deal with it anymore, when I shut it down, that space where I was running around, money gonna boom, that is the same space that's picked up with my kids. So, like, for me, it was normal to me. It was a little friend. We grew up. So when it started expressing itself or moving me to express myself in more, I would say, potentially detrimental ways, it made me uncomfortable. Because all we did was create beautiful things together. Now you got me running around, my mind won't shut off. Those kind of things. I won't do this. I'm not going to do it. You know, and so I stopped dealing with that spirit. I forgot it until today. But I kept telling my kids, what is wrong with y'all? What is going on? I say, it's no way that, you know, I'm your mama. I know I had you. I know I bought your home. I don't know what you watch on YouTube, but I've heard people say they feel like their family got switched out on them. I ain't never talked about it, but I have. Like, y'all not mine. It's no way you can do the things that you do and you mine. My kids haven't been away from me except for if they went on vacation a couple of times in their life. I've always been there. From the moment they got up to the moment they went to bed. I tell you, I was at the PTA, the school meeting, the report card meeting. We sat at home, we broke bread. Their friends was there. I ministered them all. We was in the church. I played the role. Did I get the benefits? No. But I played the role, and I know the role I played. And so today, when I realized, I remembered that spirit. And I'm looking at my kids' behavior, my adult kids' behavior. And it started even before they became adults. I was like, that's that spirit. That's what I said. I was like, that's that spirit that came to them at the same point that I dropped it off. When it had me moving around, being kind of frantic and just uncomfortable in my bone. I'm like, who is y'all? But they don't know. They don't know. That was another thing that was happening when I was going through, you know, the phase where the spirit started trying to lead me to execute things that weren't going to be beneficial to me. Oh yeah, and it was pretty mean too. Leo can be mean. It was a pretty mean spirit too when it wanted to, because yeah, I done seen the nails come out on that. Oh, but nah, that can't. Them was dragons. So okay, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm figuring some stuff out, and so that spirit is now in my kids. That's deep. I let it go by 24. So it ain't got nothing to do. Cause they 20. So no, but it ain't got nothing to do with that. But and it's predominantly and this the whole thing. It's predominantly, remember I said it had to be about 93 or 94 I disassociated with this spirit. My kids that the spirit is predominantly embodied in are my kids that were born before I separated myself from that spirit. That's some deep stuff. And then I have 2 children afterwards. They're just now about to turn 20, so only time will tell. Only time will tell. But looking at them, I don't per se see the spirit of that entity. But them 3 that was born prior to me not dealing with that spirit anymore, that I dealt with from when I was a child, each of my kids embodies that energy that I left it off at. That's where he picked it up at. And each of my kids, it might have been activated in them around the age of 16. Maybe that's the age that the spirit can, like generational stuff, you know, bloodline stuff. Something going on here, y'all. I'm figuring it out. I'm gonna figure it out. And so a lot of my kids, and I'll be like, hey, y'all, that's not good. This is not the best. Can you rethink this, that, and this and third? They can't hear me. It's like, nah, 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 nah. I'm like, hey, that's not good. Hey, no, stop. See, I didn't have nobody there to do it, because number one, it may be because I was her mom. My primary focus was on making sure we were okay. But my kids don't have kids. So, you know, they just run around with their peers. It's a whole new time period, a whole new generation. So everything I'm seeing them do, I'm like, no, that ain't it. That's the wrong thing. Please don't. You ain't got nothing. No, don't do it. And they still doing it. And I understood. They can't see. They can't see. They can't see. They cannot hear me. Which leads me to think on the video I made talking about the sunken place, like Jordan Peele's movie The Sunken Place, and the psyche and selling one's and psychic abilities. is that nobody can come into your psychological place or reservoir or your subconscious. Only you can. Only you can. You can only deal with what's going on there. No physical person can come there. And so my whole thing is this, it seems like in my children's life now, they're adult children, but there is a world created. The spirit has attached itself to them, and in their subconscious, it's this world being created. It's helping them create a world that is not a reality, and therefore will be detrimental to them. And I know it's going to be detrimental to them because that's where I left that spirit at when I saw it being detrimental. But see, it was my and see when these spirits, that's deep. So now I want to know where she actually came from the very get go. And so now that's going to lead me. This is how you do your research, y'all, to further investigate what the ascended means. I do believe I understand what the ascended means, but obviously there's more for me to learn because that learning what the ascended really is going to tell me exactly where this spirit came from. All I know is it brought this Leo attribute, the shine, into my life that has been a blessing, but it also had the end of it. It was again, it was ruled by that. Like it's the end is like a jealous, angry. Oh Lord, please don't. Vengeful spirit, angry, vengeful spirit. Wow. Wow. I'm going to say this so I won't forget. Is that I shared here on YouTube in some video, I don't even know what. Sometimes I just be interjecting information so I don't forget. Eventually I know I'll come back past and be like, oh yeah, I did say that and I ain't finished contemplating on that. But one time I made a video, and it's been in this last year, and I talked about one day how I looked in the mirror and I was like, who is that? Looking at me. I was like, who is that? What is that? I just talked about it not too long ago where I said I realized that I'm getting older. And so I have to accept the transformation that is taking place physically for me. I look somewhat like myself, but not really to myself. But this image that I saw in the mirror, maybe I was, what do you call it, mirror scarring or whatever, and I didn't know it was just in the moment. And I saw the future me. And I told you I was mad, I was offended. I was like, I don't know that person. I'm not going to look like that. Nope, I don't agree. And I'm still in objecting and disagreeing. Because I ain't figure all the spiritual stuff out yet. I'm still disagreeing. I do not want to look like that. I ain't lived that hard life. I ain't played out here hard. I ain't allowed, no, I ain't doing it. I don't know where that bitch come from, excuse my language. I really have attitude about it. Had attitude when I seen it, had attitude now about it. It's objecting, and as far as I'm concerned, whoever created that model, they need to be held in contempt of the universe. I ain't playing with it. That's reality. That's my reality. So, I bring this future possible image of me up because remember I was just saying, just through this realization, it seems like this spirit of Leo possibly had me stealing something from Venus. Venus is over beauty. It's not only over beauty, it's like, how do you gain balance in this physical world? How do you gain favor? What is favor? Well, sometimes it is directly, many times, especially nowadays, it is really connected with your beauty and just how beautiful you are, how symmetrical you are, those kind of things. And so in my life, when I saw that image of me, I'm already looking at myself like, okay, you're changing the NC, get prepared. You got to do you. You got to be okay with who you're going to be. Until I saw that image, I was, hold on. I look at my mama. I know my mama, my grandmama, my mama's sisters. I know enough about my bloodline and seen enough of them to know that I don't recognize that person. I ain't seen it in none of my people, and you're not gonna you're not gonna give me that. I'm not gonna accept this look. You know, I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what you need to rewire or rearrange or rewrite, but you better get busy because again, it does not correlate or correspond with what I've known as part of my lineage. You know, ancestral line. So I was like, but what if what I'm talking about now was like a heist from Venus? What if that spirit taught me to shine, and therefore that's how I was able to claim possession of some of Venus's treasures? In reality, maybe Venus never wanted to give me any treasures, but that spirit came along and said, let me show you how to get them treasures. See, this is something I got to think on. And why do I say that? I say that because why, as I get older, and was I shown that image of a possible future me? It almost says like it got to come back and claim what was taken from Venus, from beauty. I'm not young and as pretty as I used to be, but I'm okay with that. But what I am not okay with is that thing that I saw was a future me. I am not okay with that. And if, what I'm saying is, if that spirit coerced me to steal from the spirit of beauty or get something that was not authorized to be released to me from the spirit of Venus, and now it wants to, at this, you know, as my older years come in, claim certain attributes from me that may have come from Venus in order to recop that which was illegally taken. Because I tell y'all, this spirit that I speak so highly of as a imaginary friend is one that, yes, I had really pretty things, really nice things. Everything was okay, that and that and that. But when I tell you at that time period when it came, I said, oh, I got to cut this off. Then I formed a gambling habit, and the spirit didn't want me to go to sleep. It was one thing after another. It was insane. And I realized it was insane. I said, I got to stop myself. See, I'm the kind of person that I always went to an extreme. It don't matter to me who has something to say, because you're or the other is not living it. I am. So if I know that I'm dealing with something on a spiritual level, if I got to cut everybody off, that's what I will do. And I will do what I need to do in order to get the job done. In that case, that's what I did. I mean, it's been times in my life where I cut myself off from everybody. It was used to be phones that plugged in the house. I took the phone, threw it out. Threw the phone out. I'm the kind of person, I take all my clothes off. I'm telling y'all, I did a meditation on here, and I was like, I called it the butt naked meditation. I get naked. I get naked on you. Won't be no bells, whistles, and jangles. My channel really is coming full sharp circle. I will get butt naked on ya. And the reason why I get butt, I don't want nothing of this world. I want to know what's really going on. And because I've always been able to do that, it's always allowed me to be able to release the dark energy or to see, you know, that which doesn't want to be seen. You don't want to be seen. But if you just stay engulfed in the world, if you keep on partaking and putting on and using the bells and whistles, you can't shake the world so you can see, you know, through the illusion. You can't see through it. You got to relinquish this stuff. And it's just temporary. I'm not saying you have to relinquish it forever, but you have to let it go. You have to let it go. You got to be all right with you. Got to be butt naked, baby. And if you get butt naked and you stay in that state for a while, eating your cereal, not watching TV, you will gain enlightenment. You will gain enlightenment, y'all. I know, y'all. I know I be tripping, but it's the truth, y'all. Now I'm really going through something, so I got a few things to think about. But I've been on here. God, I got a lot of talking to do. I'm an air sign. I guess I didn't grew on up into it. Hopefully, y'all found some gems for yourself, and you will gain some clarity or enlightenment in the area of life that is concerning to you, that you just want to grow in. But I thank you for dropping by here. Can Angels Fly Tarot or more? Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I have any older women in here right now, but I had a message for older women for a while now. I think this message that I have for older women started back when I talked about that last time I spoke with the spirit of beauty, and it was a dream meeting. Usually things is not in my dream, but that time it was a dream meeting. So if you can find that, hey, Dr. Prince, you in here, you're older woman, you're a seasoned woman. Okay, what's the message? And I talked about it then. And this is, and I don't know why. Maybe I should share about that message, because I mean it's not a good message. The message is saying, hey, oh yes, find her with time. Find her with time. It's look, they ain't got what you got. So this message, I did talk a little bit about it, but I know it's so offensive. Because you gotta remember, I'm a seasoned woman too, somewhat. And so I get offended about stuff. You know, when I dealing with the spiritual realm, I get offended. I be like, motherfucker. So you know, I tell you, I cuss or fuss, and I don't not at just people and my surrounding circumstances. Way I tell you, because God, angels, demons, I don't care. I be turned up in the real world and the spiritual world. I'm like So, but I bring this up because it keeps coming back up, and it probably keeps coming back up because I am a part of this circle, this group, and it's also a group that is older than myself. As mentioned, I'm 49, soon to be 50, but we have 60-year-olds, we have 70-year-olds, and so this does refer to men as well in those age brackets, but primarily women. It's something about, it seems to me that men in the older brackets, older ages, they kind of just usually just relax right on down. They know they can sit on the couch and watch their basketball game, football game. Kids will bring them food, but it seems like older women are mostly more active. I'm not saying all men are not inactive, but women are always always active doing something. They going to church, singing in the choir. They might be a seamstress, sewing dress. They always active out here, not and just enjoying life, no matter what age. And what it was about then, and it might have been before that spirit, because it might have been relative to voting. It said, anyway, it's saying we're losing our power. We're losing our power. Y'all are not investing y'all energy and resources in the right places. So I'm like me. I'm not going to go political on y'all, not just yet, because I've been slacking. I started my research for the presidential campaign of election for 2020. I stopped. I got overwhelmed. I saw a candidate that I do think I favor, but I haven't finished. I only seen half of them. And so I know I got to stop procrastinating and get down to it. I think I talked about this before. Many people, especially in my culture, say you shouldn't vote. You shouldn't. But then this is what I keep getting. It's like, okay, what if a large majority of people, especially African American people, don't vote? We just don't go. How is that helping us? When the reality is, it only takes one person to vote in all this United States. Only one person got to practice voting, and that vote will be counted and used as such to select our president and our, House of Representatives, Congress, and all the whole government system. Just one vote. Just one vote needs to take place. So for a group or a race to not vote, is no way it cannot be beneficial to them. So to me, that is an excuse. And I say that because it takes, you never know a person. You can lay next to a person and not know what they're capable of doing. I did it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. So how the hell can you know who you selecting as a president? the best thing you can do is follow their debates, research their life, but that takes a lot of energy. A whole lot of energy. And so this is what I'm saying where we are falling off, the older generation. We don't have any power. It almost seems like the spirit that's talking to me about this here and there just kind of annoying me consistently. Like y'all ain't worth shit. You ain't worth shit. And seeing it from the perspective like for instance, there should be, for example, this is how I'm kind of perceiving it. Like there should be groups set up to do these studies because these are advanced studies. Studying these people that you don't know that's running for president or for your city council or for the city, whoever they are. These are people y'all don't know. And not one person can sit up here and research and investigate all these people and get the reports out. This is supposed to be community based. Y'all ain't nothing. That's why I mean the spirit that talked to me about it keep coming back to me. Could you imagine just walking down the street, minding your business, and they come again, and they pick up with that's how I experienced it. And I've been experiencing it for a while. Like I said, since I made that video, that's before that. That's what led me to make that one of them videos back then. Because it kept saying, y'all don't have no power. Y'all not investing. Y'all think, talking about a particular age bracket, and I'm assuming it's like from my age on up. Say, y'all, y'all don't have it like this. It said, and I think I reported it like this in short, y'all don't have no political power. It said your money don't even matter. And when I say your money don't even matter, say like the young people coming to steal your money and place it where they want to. Your money don't matter. You don't even make your money talk for you. You don't make your political power talk for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's doing this to us. Y'all ain't got no power. And it's like I told you back then. It said you're gonna find out just how much power you don't have. You done gave it away. Like we played, like a generation of men and women played with something, took it for granted, and didn't hold on. All that activity that women like be out doing, you were putting your energy in the wrong place. And it has yet to share with me exactly what's going to transpire. But what I get this sense of, it's like an example of what I think it's saying is we often hear stories about older people, senior citizens in nursing homes that maybe start suffering from dementia and things like this. This is just an example or analogy. Start suffering from dementia, but they in and out. More times than not, they know they have children and family, and they wake up and they ask the staff, like, where's John or Jane or whoever? Where are they? Where are my children? Let me call my children. They call the last known number, and their kids don't care. And their mom or dad asks about a rug and say, how's my favorite Oriental rug worth $50,000? The kids say, if the kid was to talk to their mom or grandparent, which they don't, they never reached out. They just put them in a nursing home and left. They sold the Oriental rug for $50,000, cashed out. The mom had sacrificed, or the dad had sacrificed, sold us, create a family treasure and heirloom. Is this energy? Is this how it seems like? And it say so the parent ends up, the kids never come to see the parent or the grandparent at all in the nursing home. And the grandparent or the parent going in and out of dementia, Alzheimer's. This is 40 something plus and older. This is what I'm being told because you didn't invest right. You did not do the right thing. And so the parent goes in and out. And it's interesting because a lot of them parents that were able to acquire that kind of money, they work them long hours. See, there's a lot of things I won't allow myself to meditate on because it's too much. I'm one person, bump that. I ain't got time, So I get an attitude. Again, I told you, I ain't just people I fuss at. I be fussing in spirit. I don't care. I don't even care. But some of the stuff that it get through to me, it upset me. That's nothing. It upset me. So it's like, the older generation is in that nursing home, decaying away slowly. And not to say that the older senior citizen didn't do the right thing. They did the best they thought they were supposed to do at the time, of the prime of their life. They worked. They earned. They may have fed their family. They bought life insurance. They put the kids through college. They did the best possible thing that they could do in a moment. But in some way, they didn't invest. Maybe example like they didn't invest their time. They tried to make all the money in the world, but making all the money, they lost the time. So they didn't invest the time with the children. Maybe making the children bitter. And what am I doing? I'm paralleling that to show an example of what it's saying to the older generation, that you're investing and you putting your last little bit in the wrong place. It's like we're not executing our true political power. We're not, even when we do, it's not in integrity. We're not really conscious of what we're doing, excuse me, but we dick riding when we make our selections politically. We're not really knowledgeable. We're just trying to be a part of a group. It was talked about how we should again have these block groups like in the community. You don't have to tell somebody what to vote for, not at all. You just have to really do extensive research about each candidate and lay the actual hardcore facts out about each candidate and their their political or judicial career, whatever. Put the hardcore facts out. But he's saying a lot of people of our age bracket, again, I like that term, dick riding. Don't even really know what the person is or what they're going to bring. They're just in the bed with them because it's good, socially good or whatever. Finances, not doing the right thing. And I'm assuming one of the things is, and I don't have this problem, but maybe this is a problem of some, is that some older generations are like, I don't know, maybe still trying to take care of their adult children. It's something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's like we're all investing in the wrong place. And so in a few years when we're like those older people in the senior citizen home and no one comes to see us and there's no love, there's no repayment of what you invested back into your life, it said don't cry. It said at this point in time, it's your last time to invest in that which really upholds you. And I done talked about it a little bit at the time, but I get offended. Is you better figure out what's real. Like this, and I think this part of possibly this generation, these generations that this entity is referring to, is talking about generations that really got lost into materialism and, like now the younger kids don't know what's right or wrong. They don't know why, because the parents kind of lost it. Because we were certain generations really focused on working, earning, trying to stay, especially when it comes to taxes, conscious and trying to stay within the boundaries and the confines of the laws and the taxation and trying to, and so that was our primary focus over the seemed like during that generational period. But there were certain truths that were lost that of. You might know some truths from your grandparents, and we talk about those kind of things. Truth from your grandparents, like gardening and things like that. You saw those like natural responses to survival executed by your grandparents. You saw when it faded out, and then people started working. I'm gonna give you an example. I remember when my mom had one of those old wash tubs, and then you put it in the thing and wring it out. So I saw the transition from the hand wash tub that you wring out to the. I remember our first beautiful Maytag washing machine, Whirlpool, whatever it was. We had a couple. Nice big, just pop, throw it in the wash machine, or boop, throw it in the dryer. I watched all that transition. I seen that, and I'm part of the younger part of this generation is talking to. It says so. This younger generation, you hear me also talk about they don't have a point of reference. They don't know what was. So their truth is now being formulated and has been formulated by so many things that don't know the truth, don't have no integrity, but they the ones carrying the power. So they're creating what will be true for us. But it's so much more. It's so much. I done talked about it so much. They are creating what is true for us, but they also don't have power. A lot of them have. I don't want to be offensive to them, but people believe that, like, I'll say, what's his name? Elon Musk, Tesla, and these are people names that's trending. Um, you think that they're going to relinquish their brilliance for the younger generation? No. They're letting the younger generation believe they shine. It's the same spirit that I done dealt with. It's the same spirit I dealt with. Because it's letting them young folks believe they shining. Because they can make money. Like here, you can make money. Thousands of thousands. You could have groupies and things like that. Oh my God. You know? And so they letting them think that, and they run and they go and they do and they decorate and they create and they popping and they popping the colors and they flying and they living and they reckless and they. That's what that spirit was trying to make me do, you know. And I had to let it go. Jumped up on my kids. Jumped up on a particular generation of people, younger people. They living big. They popping their collars too. But people such like Elon Musk, I use that name because it's trending. Everybody know who it is. And these different, well, I don't know who these people are that own these different tech companies. Do you think that they're going to really get away, get away or lose their genius because you made a few $1,000,000? Making a few $1,000,000 paper money is different from having genius, and that's where y'all gonna lose ultimately. Ultimately, y'all gonna lose. By the time y'all get to the age bracket of like this older generation, them people gonna have y'all by the balls. The power that lies here are the older generation, and there's a gap between the older generation and the younger generation I talk about. And the older generation, you losing your power to these younger folks that really, many of them are not consciously aware because they don't have a point of reference. Their norm is not natural. Their norm is not natural. And this spirit that they're being governed by, oh, it's coming full circle. It's coming full circle. It's not going to let them see that they're being misled. You are the only avenue I see. You are the only avenue that is. I'm shut up because I've been fussing. That's all I do. I tell you, I'm tired of it. Yep, y'all. We the only avenue. Materialism was running rampant. Oh yeah, there are lots of boomer bashing of some sites in terms of our are not leaving them generational wealth. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We have to contribute to their campaigns. Our group doesn't believe in that. Right. These are all things that um, that in order for us to, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say because what I do know is my life has been very complicated, especially in both physical and spiritual. And I know that a lot of people don't believe in the spirit. I know that. People in the church don't even believe in the spiritual realm. I know. I dealt with the spirit realm. I always have. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. So I don't know. And you know, this is one Bible story that keeps coming back to me, and I just keep ignoring it. I kind of understand why I keep coming up to in my mind. It's about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot and his family getting out of there for God destroyed with fire and brimstone. And the reason why the city was due to be condemned was because of some like homosexual practice or immoral sexual practices. So that story keep coming to me, and it's not so much just about sexuality. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It is about. God dang, I lost my thought. It's not about the sexuality. It's just about it's the mindset of I'll say like of humanity, of the people that create humanity. It's their mindset totally. So it's not just it's like what they say, what's the word, it's called a person being Oh, I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. So I started focusing on something else. I don't know. Steve. I wonder what time it is. I must move. I must go. Where my mouse at? The time has come. This is real deep. Yep, and materialism is a mother sucker. I mean, like I forgot I was gonna say, but it had something to do something like lot materialism something. I forgot though, y'all. My mind just be going. What is this here? So much stuff clicking on. Is this me? I have no idea. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. But I've been to really mess something up. So y'all, I'm just kind of going through something mentally. I'm going through something mentally because that was a real breakthrough for me. Is remembering that spirit, and I know that spirit oh so well. I know it well. I know the first time I really remember being conscious and in its company. I remember when I made it leave, when I had to get butt naked with myself and release all the bells and whistles to make it go, and I wouldn't move, and it would have me trembling like I was on dope because it wanted to force me to go. It made me real uncomfortable in my skin, and I refused to go. I be tripping in some of the stuff I hear nowadays, but I guess everybody's experience is different. And I'm talking about how people talk about Buddhist monks and things like that. Not saying that them people ain't went through what they went through, but a Buddhist monk, I would say a Buddhist monk is just not sitting up there in the Tibetan mountains. They're not. They're not. Maybe that's why I'm fat. Fat like a Buddha. I be cracking myself up, y'all. Sometimes I got to laugh to keep crying. Um, mm, and I sat and I broke, and then she picked my children up. See, now I'm ready to fight. I'm mad now. Picked my children up by the age of about 16, where I left her at and refused to ride with her. And then thinking about that, when I was just thinking about the spirit, the message to the older generation, I've been holding on to for a long time. All this stuff linked together then. Holding on to that all that time, for all that time. And it's the younger generation that got you by the balls. The older generation ain't doing what they supposed to do. And there are some these, and I'm just wondering about these people level of intellectual um capacity. Where are these people for real mentally? I want to be where they are. I really do. I don't know, I know life will have to lead me there, but I would rather be where they at. They level of consciousness. mm. I guess they keep us so wrapped up in other stuff we can't get there because they playing us. They are playing us. Conscious of humanity is changing. Listen to these stuff. It's been a lot of stuff I hear. I just be like, I mean, but I probably won't be. I know I won't be around. There's no way to be aware of everybody's pain and suffering. So I know I won't be around. Only person's awareness I could be aware of their pain and suffering is my own people in my own immediate environment. And that's probably why I cuss and fuss so much. And my children, any significant other I may have. And then things like that be mainstream, like the 9/11 stuff. That's the only time a person get an idea of somebody suffering. But so we won't even know. We won't even be aware. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. I said oh my because it's so interesting to me. Wow. Oh my. I'm gonna let it go because what difference does it make? We can't see. We can't see. And the real that's interesting because we can't see. We cannot see. We cannot see. We cannot see. I was able to see again because it rolled with me since I was a child, and when it started changing, my physical manifestation started changing. I'm like something ain't right with this. And the thing of it, I kept secrets from this thing too at a point in time before I broke free, and I had to set up a plan. So because again, it was we had such a long relationship. I could really see. when something was going haywire, something was wrong. Had that spirit been misbehaving before? Yeah, but I still thought it was okay. It was for my betterment because, like I said, there was a very could be a very vicious spirit, very vicious spirit, very presumptuous. So yeah, it did have some dark energies, and it manifested through me. I'm the one that acted them out, but it was a consciousness. Like some people are overtaken and they don't know. No, I knew very well where it came from. Like, and so I guess that was always my air of confidence too, because I knew exactly from where it came from, what spirit I was riding with. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. That's some deep stuff. And this spirit may be more broader. I gotta look back. I wish I could remember all the details. If I could remember all the details, then I may be able to just really see where that spirit actually came from. How does it have a? I know it was a lioness. This is probably could be researched, the homework if y'all interested in studying. It's an era, a generational era as far as astrology, planetary energy that is about the lioness generation. This was when I be talking about the big three coming on right before that right near where the people building up the middle class and making enough money. And I just told y'all about a movie I just tripped upon on Netflix called The Good Fences or The Good Fence, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover. In the movie, it was about them becoming upper middle class people. He ended up coming up through the law firm, becoming a judge. She was a housewife. They sent their kids to school. Some of the first black, representative of the really established black people that earned enough, sending their kids to college, and then starting to deal with the mixing of race issues and the lack of or distortion in identity from black people, starting to really deal with a lot of white people on the broader spectrum of things. So it dealt with that whole storyline and the dynamics and time periods. And so that's the lioness people. That's the lions. And so I say you can study if you are interested in generational planets. I'm sorry, generational planets probably will be in the late 50s, 60s probably, because they built it up, they self up by the 1980s. So probably between the 50s and the 80s, they really built themselves up, and they started spending extremely excessively, buying big houses and cars, and it wasn't just that was the black people, but it was whites as well. All nationalities just became very wasteful as far as resources, extravagant, that kind of thing, very extravagant. And so I bring that up because that's possibly where the spirit that is now possessing the children, the young adults, that's YouTube famous and whatever else famous, making millions or thousands of dollars to sustain their life. That's where that spirit comes from. I really believe it comes from there. I really believe it comes from there. And see how she prepped the grandparents, the spirit. She prepped not only the grandparents, the parents, and then she biting this generation, and they can't see it. You can't say nothing to the young generation about nothing. They know it all. You bet not make, if you make $5 and they make $7, you bet not tell them nothing. But what I can say is I think they're in trouble. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm seeing. And so that's some homework. You can start researching to build up your astrological understanding, that kind of thing. Well, I ain't trying to be their punch bag. I don't want to be nobody punch. I don't want to be nobody. That's what I say, Dr. Princess. What I'm going to do? I done got old now. I ain't got no fight in me. If I fight, it might be my last fight. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm just freaking tired. I'm just tired. I don't know what I'm here for. I am just here because this is insane. I got stuff around me. And I got old. I used to really have a nice house. All y'all see is what I can frame. Make sure I can't do it no more. Enough is enough. And so it's time for the spiritual thing to move on. For it try to drop me over in that thing you showed me. I don't know. Maybe I am just nutty than a mother sucker. Who knows? But it's all. I'll stay nutty because it always has helped me. Always and came out on top. So, but I thank y'all. I ran my mouth for almost 3 hours and y'all hung with me. I really appreciate it. I asked you, contemplate on what I shared in this live stream, do some research, and also pick the gems out of here so you know. And hopefully you can see if you think about what your ascent is. Look up a chart. Now there are many charts online. I'm gonna say this in closing. There are many astrological charts on this line. Sometimes I use Vault to Heaven. Some people talk about www.astro.com for your birth chart calculator. Find out what your ascent is or your ascendant is, and see if you can recognize it as a spirit like I have. I didn't know that was it. That was it. A spirit that came in your life, accompanied you, and helped you to, I don't know, cancer, cultivate how to, make somebody feel emotionally secure and supported. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Set up a home. I don't know. Have an extra bed, a bed and breakfast. I'm saying, see if your ascent line up with some type of spirit at all, because that's what I was actually just looking at. You do live every day. Every day. I try. I don't know. So things got to get better. That's all I know. So older generation, y'all got to really decide, understand that you very, very, right now is a critical time for you all, for us, because I'm to be very powerful contributors into humanity now and into the history. I mean, it's like a lot of things are lying with us, on us. It's on us. It's like we all, and this the whole thing is that the young folks is not gonna listen. So it's not about us trying to talk to them. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna have their ups, downs, or whatever, successes, challenges, whatever. It's what we supposed to be doing. It's certain things that we're supposed to be doing in our age, during our age, relative to our age. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and we ain't doing. And that's where we're going to be held, spiritually accountable for. There's certain things that we're supposed to do that we're not doing. We are not doing. And so, if you have time, if you cross your mind, contemplate on what are you supposed to be doing that you ain't doing. and if you have a grandbaby or great nieces, if you don't do it, it's gonna affect them. Or the great grand, it's gonna affect them because you ain't do it. If you ever had, what I'm talking about may sound strange, but if you ever had that thought like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be doing that, but I can't make sense of how to do it. Why would I do it? I'm the only one that's not going to help. But dang, if I don't do it, I know it's going to bother my baby, my grandbaby, my little niece, my little son, whoever. I know if it don't. If you ever had that thought, I'm here to confirm it for you. That's what the information I got. There's something that we're supposed to do, like 40, I think it's like about 40, 45 and up. Something we're supposed to be doing is a role that we're supposed to be playing based on our gender. Just gender doesn't matter. Based on our gender, age bracket, their social, we're each. See, I don't even want to go in that. That's why I started talking like, because I don't want to go into that. Because I be trying to go in and explain it the way it explained to me. Because the spirits don't explain in the words like I'm talking. It's a thought. And so thoughts are composed, the consciousness is composed of all the information. So I'm trying to about the A, D, basic, that. I'm trying to formulate words to something, to and expand the consciousness. That's another thing I'm tired of. You give me the exact words, so I ain't got to figure them out, or leave me alone. Because what I'm saying is like, when it talk about this, our responsibilities, or age bracket, I'm getting this message relative, like I say, to 45 on up, male, female, black, white, social, prowess, I'll say, and many other categories. All of this is a group of consciousness. I just did a video about the group consciousness. That group of conscious information is washed over me. And then all that information, like for instance, I can say, okay, group 45 to 50, black women. Group 45 to 50, white women. Group 45 to 50, males, black. 45 to 50, males, white. 45 to 50, you got a large social circle. 45 to me, you got a small social circle. I can't do that. I'm not a computer. They all alike. But that's what it would take. And so sometimes I go to talking, I get upset like, because can't nobody do that. That ain't even real. That ain't even real. I always tell God, you forgot, you don't know this place now. You don't know this place now. Now you can use my eyes to look at it, but you don't know this place now. And I was like, I'm not going to be sitting up here running my mouth. Maybe I would be more prone to do so if my YouTube things had increased. I'm like, okay, yeah, I did it. But 4 or 5 people watching, I'm not going to be doing that. So I guess divinity or life or whatever it is, I'm going to figure out another way. But I ain't going to be no Ponzi or whatever you call it, no putz, name for divinity. So, yeah, it's this message. And so I do believe we all get it. As a matter of fact, I know we all get it. I'm going to let y'all go. I just keep talking. The other day, YouTube is starting to suggest other videos to me. Why? I don't know. I don't know. At certain times they reshuffle the channels. You know, like they usually show me the same people over and over and over again for some years. But then all of a sudden they reshuffle. And then I'm starting to see new people. So I saw a new girl, young lady, and I forgot her name. And so I like clicked on her because she's young generation. She seems very smart, very knowledgeable, very excited about spirituality and stuff. And so every time I go to somebody's channel, I always go to see their oldest video. I'm wondering how long they've been out, because I know I've been out for a while, and I know my channel stagnated. And I looked, I was like, well, these people been out for a year, and how they get all these people 2 years? How they got what? And some of them I get mad, or I be mad as hell. Especially when I know they lying. I be like, yes, you don't know if somebody lying or not. But especially when something, you know, like, you really figure blatantly a lie. And you're like, oh, God, Jesus, you're torturing me. You know, and so anyway, this young lady, she was a great speaker, very informed. But she said something in her very first video, because I clicked and go back to the oldest video. And she talked about it. Matter of fact, I think her name, Conjure Queen. Conjure Queen. She don't know me. I just found her last week. So I go to her channel, and whatever channel I go to, whenever I find one, I go to their oldest video to see what they were really about when they started. And I think it was her very first video, the first or second one. She was talking about the same thing I was talking about back in April of 2016. April of 2016, I made my end time prophecy a video, I think it was. And I talk about an event that happened March 6th of 2016. And I shared it. And I shared in that video that there were many people all over this earth that received the same message I received from divinity at the exact same time. I said, I can't tell you how many people, but I knew it was a whole lot of people, because I felt us, and we were all connected, all praying simultaneously in the spirit. Now, she didn't go in detail. Of course, it's up to us as unique individual creators to share that message. I saw a white woman, older woman, but she had, remember, it also was framed by our life experiences and philosophies. So I shared it based on who I am, you know, probably a little ghetto. The white woman that I found a couple of years ago shared the story there were gems that sealed and showed we were telling the same story. But the white woman, when she told the story, she told it as if it was just for her race, and it wasn't. And so I was mad at her, but I say, that's when God told me, you know, you can't be mad at her. This is from her. So she may have had some little, racism or something going on in her, because she just wanted to claim it for her. And so he got something for that. So I left it alone. After that, I was like, because I seen it a couple other times. I said, and it made me, I was like, yep, I know the experience I had. I know it was real, and I know. And so every now and then, I wash across or come across videos that person is talking about that experience, but they're giving it from their perspective and based, on their life experience. And this young girl was one and the same, and she talked about that experience. Of course, she expressed it from her creative, space or mind frame, and but she told the same story. And I thought that was so interesting. So I get so excited when I I see people executing what we were commanded to do so. And it's interesting to me because I thought it would be, I guess it did turn into a big thing. I guess it did. Because again, we got thousands and thousands of people like on YouTube, other platforms. I'm sure, I don't know, I'm just here on YouTube, but I'm sure it's not just YouTube. All these platforms, and people are starting to talk about the event, um, the shit, pole shifting, and so all of that. What's that? It was that. It's just that everybody, when we had the experiences like God, imagine God talking to you, and you're deciphering. When I say it's a consciousness, it's a conscious bubble. So God washes you over with this bubble of consciousness, and you sitting up, and based on your life experience, you say, well, you create the sentences and the words to try to convey that bubble of consciousness. So by the time it got through being interpreted or ciphered by thousands of people, probably millions of people worldwide, but I'm just say thousands of people on YouTube, it started coming up as different things. Like the event. That event thing came, and when people say, "Oh, the event," oh, that ain't what it said. I can dig that y'all calling it the event, but that ain't what it said to me. But again, it was, I guess, maybe divinity, whoever really our creator is, because I'm not into like divinity as far as religious. If I'm not into divinity like religious, I'm not. I believe there's a creator, something greater than us. Now, if it's God, it's going to have to show me. It's going to have to show out. It's going to really have to show out. But I do believe it's something greater than us, because I can't explain exactly why I breathe or how I see. I can't explain how I feel me inside of me, but I ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain that. So I know it's something greater inside of me. And like I said, I done seen a whole bunch of different spirits, embodied, incarnated, or not. Um, those kind of things. And so what happened that day, to be able to feel the presence of many, many people in this world at the same time. And it's like this state when people talk about paralysis. It's like I experienced somewhat of paralysis. I could move if I wanted to, but I knew not to move. I talk about it then. And everybody all over this world praying to break the stronghold off of humanity. That was a very powerful moment for me. And so I don't know. I try to not to ask what's like the next phase. Next phase. I might not even live. I thought about this the other day. I might not even live to see. I think it's going to happen soon. But I might not live to see the end result. When we look back over history, like Moses, when it comes to Christianity, Moses, he didn't get to go into the promised land, or whoever it was. You know what I'm saying? When you look back, Martin Luther King didn't get to see that day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing about people that we may say are prophets and things. They're just another person. They're picking up on some information because for whatever reason they're in tune with something. But they never ever get to see that final day. Because it's a phase. It's like the factory line. These various factory lines keep us from understanding their secret ingredient, because you are only going to be able to putting one ingredient in at a time. So everybody putting one ingredient in at the time, in the masterpiece or the Cadillac is the end result. And you can get by into it later on. And so it's something like that even with divinity. Like we all get one little particle to contribute to this. Again, this stuff been going on. And Moses was real. This stuff been going on for over 2,000 years. I'm sure even before that. And then I talk about Dr. Martin Luther King. We got Gandhi and these different people that have input just one drop. And this is the crazy thing about to bring me to tears. To be able to submit one drop into the destiny of reality, you have to sacrifice your whole life. I gotta go, y'all, because I'm about to cry. I'm really upset. I ain't in it. Look, I'm not a person that like to sacrifice. I ain't cool like that. To and you're called. That's the crazy part. It ain't like you just volunteer. You are called to submit that one drop into the future of humanity, and you got to sacrifice your whole life. That's crazy. Good night, y'all. Bye.